And we're here.
We are here.
Hello. Wonderful. Otsugeki?
Apologies to anyone who was waiting for us to start. Streamlabs decided that 10 minutes before start would be the perfect time to just shit itself.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
You know, the Streamlabs way.
Stream gods, no.
And
thank goodness we got it sorted, though.
Gotta do an extra thing here for tradition. Let me just put this right here, and then I will just...
Oh, dude, hell yeah, let's go. Thank you. Yes, because of tradition, there you go, my friend.
Thank you for sending the link to my own game.
Thank you for sending me a link to the game I'm a part of.
I mean, have you considered putting that link in chat?
Sure. If everybody else needs the link, there's that link right there.
Hey guys, just in case you need it, there's the link right there.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
let's get the link to him.
There's this dude I really want you guys to check out.
Dude,
it's real good stuff.
Fucking real good. I've heard of this guy. I've heard he's pretty good.
Look, I don't want to toot his horn, but toot.
Wait, I don't want to toot his own toot. And you ended it there?
He just stopped. He's like, nope, that was enough. I said everything that needed to be said.
Way to go, Andy.
I'm done. I'm done.
What the fuck?
You're all children. Except for you, Eric. You're just like a weird man with the brain of a child.
A man-child.
Like a man-child. There you go. He doesn't even know his own strength. Little baby Huey over here.
You get to babysit these children for the next 4 hours.
I was watching.
Oh boy. I get to not play with my son, to play with these children. Hooray.
I was watching Super Beard Brothers on YouTube, and they're playing Sekiro, and there's that one Sekiro monster mob, whatever you want to call it, that's just like a huge dude in a diaper, and they're like, "Is that baby Huey?" He's like, "Get baby Huey over here, say hello," and he's just like, "Get him!" and he charges him with a katana. Good times. Hop onto the War Crimes Waganto. Well, that name's being changed.
That's their hometown.
I feel like that's our new slogan, guys.
Hop on the War Crimes Waganto.
I hate this.
Andy, come on. Would you like to be famous?
Well. To all my good jams and jellies, my cup runneth over. You can take sips. Let's get started.
All right.
Good with these intros.
Not hygienic.
Yeah.
Well, it's also not hygienic because it's running over, and I assume you're either licking the outside of the cup or the drippings on the table. So really,
so bad.
You need to clean yourself up.
Have paper towels.
Clean yourself up.
Anywho.
So, last week, after months, the group finally got out of the dungeon, only for Sharut to realize he forgot something, so you're all going back.
Absolutely not.
So it's a +1 against goblins.
So, hey, technically, yes. Yes, technically it'll work this time.
All right. Target his knees.
He's going to kill you, but just because he wants the bonus to finally count.
Yeah, this isn't personal, kid. It's just 100% because you are what you are.
Mechanical reason, don't worry about it.
So yeah,
it's purely numerical reasons.
You know, it's what's amusing to me is fully half the party gains a bonus to hit Sharut.
Holy shit, you're right.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, so the group the group got a little bit more of what they needed from the dungeon. They took some books that were useful. They collected a couple of little treasures and trinkets. They then went back into the city, where they sort of dragged Geralt along, and they spoke to the House Thrash mining expedition, and said, "Hey, we're gonna do what we can to get everybody out of here." And so they worked together and rigged up some travois, and once they had enough, they carried everybody out. The ice had frozen over, and the tunnel was closing again, but it wasn't closed yet, so they managed to get through. And once they got through, they came up out of the church and surprised all the clergy, who were like, "You guys disappeared into the catacombs for 3 days. We thought you were dead." By the way, nobody really noticed this, but there wasn't anything mentioned of, "We sent a search party." There was just, "Well, we thought you were dead. You didn't come back."
Yeah.
Star Lasker, where the answer is usually no. You gonna help those guys? Nah.
No.
This irritated the clergy a little bit, and so they said some nice prayers to you, and then booted you out of the church. And as everybody was sort of getting up out of the catacombs and getting things ready to go, there was a point where Coralie de Deneth spoke to Lumio and said, "Hey, things are probably going to be really hard on Forsidna for the next couple days, because she's never really lost people, and she hasn't given herself time to like go over things yet. And I know that you've lost people because you're like a big time general. So if you get some time, could you just like maybe talk to her?" And then you guys got back to the hotel, and Ringer's room was tossed. It was just trashed. And in the middle of the floor was a note that was like pinned to the ground with a knife that said, "Read this out loud." And that note had, let's see, it said, "Sirens, he's mine now. Out of respect for your prince, I'll let the rest of you live. Understand that you have no place in my home. And if you interfere with the mourner's business in it again, I will end you quickly and violently after forcing you to watch as I end those around you slowly and with great care. Go home. Do not return. Long live Seer." It was signed HC and had a postscript of, "Whoopsa, return." And as soon as Lumio read the "Whoopsa, return" part, a spirit stepped out of the zombie that was Coralie, and the body of Coralie just sort of started turning into this black slag, this just muck, and just fell to the ground. And the spirit said, "He's right. Get out of the town. Don't interfere." And then it stepped through a wall and it left. There was a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth from Forsidna. Lumio did what he could to help her and calm her down, and basically said, "Look, after this sort of betrayal, we're not going to let one of our own get taken, but now is not the time for it. We don't have the strength. We can't go up against one of the major crime lords of a city. Just stick with us. We'll train you. You can train us. And then maybe later we'll come back and we'll introduce Eberron Actual to a concept of humility." And Forsidna seemed to jibe with that. There was a point where everybody dropped off. I'm screwing up the timeline of this a bit. There was a point where everybody dropped off the House Thrash people at their dig site up here. And as they did that, Geralt told them, "Hey, come back later." And they grabbed Dandrin's wagon and they said, "Okay, we need to do a couple things in town. We need to sell some of this loot that we got. We need to meet up with Dandrin's family. We need to meet up with the ambassador. We need to meet up with the House Thrash folks, and then we can leave." So they met up with, before they left the hotel, they met up with a new party member who was there to see them. His name is Quintus, and he is a gnome that's not really like Delian. He's definitely much more serious, but also much less of a dick.
Yeah.
Overall nicer and more fun to be around because he doesn't just try to piss off everyone that he meets. He apparently works for the ambassador or the prince or something. He was here looking for the other players and sort of went with them as they were doing stuff. So the group splits. half of them go to meet Dandarin's family over at the artificery over here, and basically they sell some things. They sell some magic weapons. They sell some things they didn't need. And Dandarin meets with Mirnan and Mirgi, and they say various things. Mostly, good luck. Send your sister my love, and it's probably in your best interest if you don't come back to this terrible, terrible city. To which Dandarin said something about, like, yeah, we're definitely going to come back. And then they found the scholar that Sharut had been talking to before, and that Quintus had been talking to basically before he joined the game. Kaya Softon, and Kaya Softon is a archaeologist from Moorgrave who's basically in town on sabbatical, and they offered to sell her a lot of these old Dakani artifacts that they found, which were still very intact due to the stasis effect of the manifest zone, which she accepted and she bought for a good amount of money. And then the group went to the embassy, the Syrian embassy, which is over here. And in the embassy, there was basically they got to meet with Tanaya Irtadian, and Tanaya Irtadian said a couple of things. Number one, she introduced Quintus to everybody again, and seemed to very much trust him, which I think put the rest of the party at ease, considering they had just been betrayed by somebody who was posing as a longtime ally. She also said that the deed that they had been looking for the mine, to make the mine like officially part of New Seer, that was that had gone through. Some other deeds and other favors had gone through, and that, basically they just needed to get all of this stuff to New Seer and get it in the right hands. And then she also said that an interesting thing had been approved, and that interesting thing was the expansion of the lightning rail. So currently, the lightning rail over here doesn't really go close to New Seer. It's still 100, maybe 80 miles away. And so they have approved a second line to come down from Star Alaska that will be coming down this way and then heading over to Kidron. This is sort of a big deal because it will give New Seer a much, much easier way to get connected to like the rest of the world, basically. Lightning rails are essentially like the fastest way to travel, unless you are willing to spend a good amount of money on like teleportation, or you have the most expensive airships in the world. So that's good news for New Seer. So that project, though, is approved. It is not actually started and is nowhere near finished. So they'll have to work on that a little bit as things happen. I believe at that point there was that was pretty much where we stopped. So now, where would you all like to go?
Are we in the wagon at this moment in time?
I mean, you could be. I believe where we actually ended was you guys are in the embassy. You're not in the wagon necessarily.
I believe our next stop was the House Thrash.
Okay.
Believe. We also need to hit up Denise, and I don't know if that's on the way or better done on the way out of town.
I mean, you can do that whenever. Like, Frisita's not actually. Oh yeah. By the way, there's some new tokens. We've updated tokens for Dandarin and Dillian and Lumio and Frisita. So Frisita now has a token that matches everybody else, but she's not with the group right now. She's over at the.
We'll pick her up on the way out.
Enclave. So yeah, you guys can go to the House Denith or House Tharashk, and then stop by House Denith on the way out.
On the way to House Tharashk, Sharut will make and apply salves as needed.
Okay. Yeah. If you need to roll your alchemy to see what you're making or whatever, go ahead and do it. It'll just be each of your rolls at a -2 because you are in a wagon, and the wagon is, a tumbling on the road.
I am not sure if I can fail still. Hang on. Oh, well, no, if I get a 1, it's still 15, so I can't fail.
Okay.
Now there is a thing I'd like to do with Quintus at some point, where he queries the city as he does, but it doesn't have to happen immediately, and we can say that it happens in intervening time. So just let me know.
I mean,
when the good time is for that.
Does he want to do this when everybody else is speaking with House Thrash? Because he doesn't really have business with Thrash.
Yeah, he has absolutely nothing to do in there.
Yeah. So, okay, we will move the group then. I will do these.
You want me to do my healing rolls?
I mean, you can't fail them.
No, I mean like applying them to people.
Yeah, you can apply them and keep track of how many you had to apply to people. But who is actually hurt right now?
That's a great question.
Andrew's very hurt.
So it looks like Delian's about half down, and Dandrin's about half down.
I'm damaged, but I don't think.
Delian heals 13.
Cool.
Self. Dandrin also heals 13.
Hershey is also down a little bit.
Delian heals 15. Tercia, how down are you? Because I'm hurting pretty bad.
You didn't need to heal me a second time.
Okay, in that case, Dandrin heals 15.
Right.
Okay, so Delian healed 13, Dandrin is healed 28.
Correct. Tercia, how badly are you hurt?
Not too badly.
Okay, I'm actually gonna give it to myself in that case because I'm hurting pretty. And now I feel great.
I feel fantastic. All right. So, each of these takes you 15 minutes to make?
No, it takes me 15 minutes to make 2.
To make 2. Okay, so in the ride over there, considering like congestion in the streets and twists and turns and stuff, you'll be able to do those rolls. You haven't been able to get to Tercia yet. But you've been able to make those 4. And so the rest of you get to the House Thrash dig site. And the House Thrash dig site is, again, this building right here. It looks to be 2 buildings. One of them's they're both about 2 stories tall. They are linked by kind of a bridge going across them at the 2nd floor. And it is a fenced-in grounds. It has a stone fence that is then capped with like iron fence spikes all the way around. It is these are one of the sites that Dander and you and Shrewd were looking at. So there's a lot of there's a clear differentiation, and it's about it's usually somewhere between half a story to a story and a half up, where it was old stone and then becomes sort of new construction. So like this is built in one of the very preserved ruins of Ulshrok, of the original surface buildings of Spearhold. And you guys see that, like, it's closed, it's fenced, there's actual like gate guards and stuff like that. And that's because it's a Thrash dig site, meaning that there's the potential for there to be a lot of money here. So they do treat it with a high degree of security.
Right.
Hello?
Yes,
Sorry,
we.
Andy stepped away.
I'm going to go ahead and park the wagon, and then I'm going to go. Lumio's damaged, so while everyone's kind of getting ready and planning out what they're doing, Jarut, if you want to go up and fix up Tercia, I'll go ahead and fix up Lumio here.
Oh, that is a good idea.
Yes.
All right, Lumio will heal about 18 hit points when he gets... Wait, that's not 18. That's 13.
That's not... Yeah.
So, Lumio will heal 13 hit points when he gets back, which should definitely put him up to full.
Tercia, how you know?
Sharut, you didn't have time to do that, as I said before.
Okay, that's fine.
So, what is somebody doing that's useful and relevant to the plot?
Sharut will...
Well, if no one does...
Sharut will speak to one of the guards. Yeah, at the request of House Thrask.
And, he'll kind of look at you a little Like he sort of cocks his head at you a little bit, and he goes, "So you think you just over here to request a house trash? Is that what it is?"
Believe message should be people who brought back Thrashk from underground.
Ah, you want them little independent contractors, little claim jumpers, gonna go up, dig up, rescue Geralt, bring her back surface-wise.
Are you okay?
What you mean, am I okay? Cause I'm okay. Don't
No,
sound okay? You okay? You looking like you ain't okay. Look at your eyes. Your eyes saying you ain't okay. You okay?
No, I'm not okay, but I'm getting better. Are you okay?
I'm doing just fine. Just peachy.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Alrighty then.
Why
Let's,
why don't the two of you
We are the
half
one.
sizes stay here? I go check in and see if you allowed to come inside.
All right, we'll be here.
And he just kind of like looks at you, and cocks his head to the side, and spits out like a chunk of chaw. Just and
Gross.
just kind of like growls out in orc to his friends. He goes, "Watch them. Don't trust them. I don't never trust those. No, they always in something different, something peculiar." And his buddy just kind of like nods, and as he goes in, his friend just moves so that he's more in front of the door and looks at the two of you and does this like incredibly huge but very fake smile over his huge like orc tusks.
I immediately look to the party and go, he's not well. He's not well at all. Nobody talks like that.
Can Delian speak Orcish?
I believe I speak Goblinoid.
You can't
Goblin
speak
is an
Orc.
orc. Yeah, those are different languages.
Yeah.
Then I'm pulling up my sheet right now. You caught me
you
up.
do speak Orcish, yes.
Yes, I do.
You heard all
Okay.
that. So anyway, this dude he's gone for 2-3 minutes, and then comes back. It's just this kind of like lumbering half orc. And from the look of him, like he's maybe a bit more orc than human. And so he's just kind of like walking just real easy, dressed in the most terrible looking like patchwork armor you've ever seen, with this kind of ratty trench coat over it. And he's got this halberd that's sort of on his shoulder, but like the way he carries it, it's not so much he's carrying the halberd as he's like sort of resting it across both shoulders and just sort of hanging his arms off it. And then he comes back to the gate and sort of swings the halberd around and slams it down. And he goes, "All right, man, I go in, I talk to Geralt. She says they okay. They seem all right. They seem all right, which I guess they do. Can't fault them for company that they keep or who they is, what they are, but we can let them in, no." And the guy at the guard just kind of like nods and again looks to you, Sharut, and you, Dillian, and gives you guys this huge but very fake smile. And he starts
Nice
to open
teeth.
the gate, and he goes, "All right, then, in you go."
Thanks for letting us in. Make sure you get that throat checked out.
And your teeth.
And so you walk past the guard that's staying at the gate, and the one that you've been sort of talking to goes, "All right, you come up, follow me. I'll take you to her." And,
Oh, more.
and he starts walking through, and it's that same thing where he's like real content to walk slow and just take his time. And it you've never seen somebody be so actively lazy.
So, when did you get your legs replaced?
I don't know what you mean.
Oh, I just assumed they put them with lead weights or anything, but, you know, what do I know? Medical... Sharud, is that possible?
Delian, please.
Is possible.
Oh,
Likes
okay.
to stride.
Is this some sort of joke about my personage, my gait, way I walk,
No.
my stride?
Nope, not at all. Just being very
Some
inquisitive.
sort of commentary on me?
No, not at all. Just being merely inquisitive.
So this ain't any sort of peculiar perception abilities on my sort of way I'm moving myself and guiding you through a place where you should not be.
But apparently we should be. But I'm not trying
no,
to
no, you
allude
should not be
anything
here.
to you.
If
At
you were
all.
supposed
Again,
to be here, you wouldn't need a guard. I think that's how this work, ain't it?
I didn't know we needed a guard.
Well, yeah, here I am. That's how this work, ain't it? And
Are you a guard or are you more of a guide?
and he goes, call him and call him. Call him and call him.
Only opinion Sharut have of gate is that help with knees.
And he takes you into the left building. The left building, and he will take you to basically the back of the first floor. And there's kind of an open room, and you look in this room, and pretty much everybody that you see is like a human with some clear, like, little bit of orc blood, an orc with a little bit of human blood, or a half orc. House Thrash is basically the house for like half orcs that breed true, in the same way that like Lyrender is a house for like half elves that breed true. Yeah, you see a number of people gathered around this table with like maps on it, and one of the people that you see is Geralt, who's like pointing out things with she's got like a long stick, just this pointed dowel, and she'll tap at things. And this looks to be for any who were down there. So Quintus, I believe you're staying outside the gate, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Yeah. So for Lumio and Tertia and Dandarin and Delian and Sharut, this looks to be as much of a map as they could get about going down there, along with as much of a map as they could put together about the city itself. And they're pointing out different things. There's about 6 people in there. It looks to be fairly evenly split between sort of male and female, and also to be fairly evenly split between, like, is somebody a half orc or just one of the other races with a little bit of orc blood or a little bit of human blood. When you get there, though, Geralt will sort of stand up and look at all of you, and she says, these are the ones that rescued me and helped us. Well, really, they rescued the whole expedition, helped us out of there. I think if they hadn't helped me out, I probably would have died in the castle, and if they hadn't helped everybody else out, there either would have been some sort of massacre on the way to the surface, where they lost almost everyone, or no one would have actually gotten out. And there's kind of a lot of nods and like little murmurs of appreciation. And eventually one of the bulkier half-orc males, just this mountain of muscle. Dude's like at least 6.5 feet tall, and looks like he weighs about as much as Dandarin weighs in his armor.
Damn.
And he just steps forward, and he extends an arm to whoever is in front. And if whoever's in front is one of the small guys, he extends an arm while like kneeling in front of them.
I mean, Delian really wants to go shake this man's hand.
Yeah, I mean, if Delian's like, oh yeah, like this man means to shake a hand, then you get a nice arm shake from this huge, just like green-skinned giant with, you know, like, and he's a half orc, so he's got like the little bitty tusks, but they're just big enough to like stick out and like kind of push in on his upper lips. So he's got that bulldog face going, and reaches out and shakes your hand. He goes, "We owe you a lot of thanks. Everything Geralt's been telling us is that you boys, you did a lot for everyone down there. We just want to let you know that we just real up appreciate it."
Not you two.
What you mean, not us too? No, we do. We do. We appreciate everything you've done.
Oh well, I'm so very glad. We aim to help.
Well, that's good. That's good. We're always looking to have more helpers, and you know, I gotta say, it's I don't know if this was fate, kismet, Eladra just smiling down at us, or Orion just saying that what we were doing was right and righteous. But I want to thank all y'all. Just bottom of my heart, you managed to forget the expedition and the money. You managed to save some good lives, some good folks, and it means a lot to us.
Well,
would that we could have saved more of them.
Oh, I'm glad we saved any at all.
and he will, like I said, Dillian, he'll shake your hand, and he's a big dude, so there's very much a, like, he's kind of shaking your arm a little bit.
He's more like he's shaking me.
Yeah, pretty much. And he does the same to you, Sharut and Dandarin and Tertia and Lumio, if you allow it. He will just hand out and just thank you so much.
Farouk confusingly mimics Dillian.
So you stick a hand out and then, like, awkwardly, like, just jiggle and jive in place.
Yeah, I have no idea what's going on.
And then he stands up and he says, Geralt told us how much all y'all help, and we want to say with the amount of help that you offer, we think that there's some sort of a reward here. And she said that not even did you help, not only that, but y'all was willing to sacrifice some of your findings down there, and we gotta say that's real admirable. But admirable as that be, we was talking about it. We don't think that after all the work you put in, the lives you put at risk, and save the lives that we put at risk, that we could really go and do something like that. Go be charging you. It just don't sound right. So I was thinking that maybe we and he kind of like looks to you, Danner, and he nods and he goes, Geralt said you left a gift with her for House Thrash, and if you force it on us, we will accept it. But it's more of a we don't think it would be right to take some weregill from you in a time when you've already done so much for us.
I'm going to force it upon you. You can give it to those whose loved ones will miss them, if it eases your conscience.
Good enough, fair enough, and that's what will be done with it. Is we will make sure that we take that. We will find it a good home, being that it's an artifact of archaeological significance. We might be able to get it somewhere where people will be able to probably appreciate it. Some sort of museum, maybe, or a private collection, something like that. Armor's a bit big for most of ours, but we might, bit thick. We don't really wear that sort of heavy jangle as we go in, sneaking around in the darkness. It tends to attract the monsters when they hear the metal against the metal. But we'll see what we can do about it, get a nice price for it, and give it to those people what might have lost somebody. Spread it out amongst some families.
Root may know you parties interested in said armor.
Well, if you know someone who might be interested, you can always send them our way, send us their way. We'll see what we can do, make a deal.
Troop nods.
Speaking of other things, Geralt told us you have a scholar amongst you, someone who knows their way around a couple of digs themselves, old Takani ruins and the like. We was wondering if we might be able to converse, get some notes, some maps, some directions, anything that you might have that would help us to continue on with our sort of duties here, getting them shards and getting them out to those artificers who make the magic what run the world.
Wait, you're going back in?
Of course we're going back in. Expeditionary Force was just to check, make sure shards existed. Now we know that they do. Ain't no choice but to go back in.
Oh no.
Root may be able to assist with such knowledge, but also may have few conditions.
We can see what them conditions are and see if we can work within them. We're more than willing to strike a bargain or two if the bargain benefits us. He goes, after all, you ain't dealing with no Kenneth bastard or Denise Lazabouts or any of that nonsense. This is House Thrash. We know how to do a good, proper business that don't fuck over one side or the other.
Honorable trade. It's a rarity these days.
Root pleased to hear, but before share information, must tend to wounded.
And he goes to check on Geralt because he knows that wound is still fresh.
And he goes, "Oh wait, you got wounded?" And he looks over his back at a kind of a portly human that looks mostly human, except for the fact that he has like the sort of like the distended lower, like the underbite with small little tusks. And he goes, "Clovis, our guest ain't feeling too good. You want to do what you can and Clovis just sort of nods and he goes, "Sure, I can do that. Sure, I can do that. Yeah. And he kind of steps forward and you see him clutch at a little bag around his neck. And he goes, "Orion, step aside. We ain't looking for law here. What we want is healing Hearth home heart. Give us a little bit of your health." And you will all feel a little bit of healing just trickle through you. Everybody gets 9 except for Lumio, who gets 4.
I mean,
It heals.
Lumio, also, you healed 13. Dandrian did heal you.
I think that might have happened, yeah.
And he goes, "Y'all feeling good now? Topped up and delightful? Boldre provides, you know. Boldre and Balinor. There's little else that a man can need in this world."
Yes, thank you.
Shit.
Shoulder's a little sore, but I'm feeling better.
Well, I don't
Nothing
think
some
Balinor's
walking
gifts are
can't
going to
fix.
help with your soreness, but if you want something to take the load off and make you all jelly-like, I'm sure that Clovis got something you can sniff.
I do like sniffing things.
Yeah, Sharut. So they're just looking for somebody to help them complete the map. And you see what they have as a map is the entrance and the tunnels mapped out from this side. So they have one half of the city, and you kind of have the other half. And that's kind of what they want, is the other half without having to do it on the fly.
Sharut is willing to exchange this information, but he basically would say, I think,
And exchange information, but would like any artifacts returned to catch Volar.
And what are we considering an artifact in this specific instance? If by artifact you just mean anything old and preserved, there's apparently a manifest zone with some degree of magical capability down there. And that magical capability, seems to be keeping most things old, preserved.
As you know, old Dakani was skilled in crafting magic. Many artifacts Sharut believe we missed. Magic weapons, items. If I would like.
So you expect that anything we find that's magically significant, we would send off to you and yours. Is that the boundary of your deal?
he looks over at the group and thinks for a minute and thinks for another minute
it's a lot.
and then says,
Would also like to consider potential partnership with New Seer.
Partnership for the house, or partnership just for this dig? I guess that's a big question, is whose behalf are you negotiating on it? Do you have such a degree of ability to do so? I would hate to try to bind you into the terms of some sort of agreement, and you ain't got the ability to be doing that. Know what I mean?
Root understand. Suggest reaching out to Prince. More suggestion than offer.
Well, we came here seeking information, or invited you seeking information. You've provided us with tasks. These tasks ain't gonna get us no extra lines on this map now, are they?
Perhaps not.
Well,
But tasks may bring other riches.
well, typically partnerships don't bring extra riches. Not when you're dealing with the poor.
Prince has more pull than Sharut. Do not want to negotiate on Prince's behalf. Mere suggestion, not requirement for information.
We'll consider the terms, but as you've laid out, them terms likely to be rejected. Ain't real nothing in for 'em for us to say, hey, anything we find that might be magically potent, we gonna send away to some random goblin in the poorest town in the world.
What if Sharut send envoy to examine items, determine if artifacts or no? You keep no, we keep yes.
And he kind of like looks to the rest of his comrades, and they're kind of like shaking their head a little bit. And he goes, I think that there would be more yeses and nos here. Considering what we've heard from Geralt of the general condition of things, it seems that anything that was non-magical, done up and rot, or at least maybe not in the best condition, anything that was carried that little bit of enchantment on it. Well, and enchantment seems to done been preserved. Done preserved the item. That's that stasis field of work.
I believe you misunderstand. Looking for specific items. Sharut believe.
Well, that's the difference in that. You're looking for specific items. You must tell me what them items are, and we could set those aside, maybe. That's not what you said. What you said was you want the artifacts. Everything's an artifact. This is an archaeological wonder down here. It's amazing no one up and found it before.
Common tongue difficult for Sharut.
Well, if your tongue is difficult, then speak with someone else's or speak a different language. Tongue ain't difficult for the rest of us. The rest of us speak perfectly well, perfectly fine, don't we? We just up here gabbing along.
I fucking love these guys.
Sharut, if I may.
Anderin, you have...
Jillian's holding in such laughter, he's crying.
Thank you, Sharut.
What do you have?
A suggestion for a more amicable terms between House Thrask and ourselves. So, you've specified artifice, but artifice means something a bit different in the common tongue than what you have. What he's looking for, and he'll look to the guy, is things of cultural significance more than just hardware. For example, we only found a few items of specific cultural interest in our journey that we brought up. Most of the magical artifacts, as you would call them, were in fact just things that we were able to pass along to museums, historical studies, and such. Those items, of course, that you find would be the same. You could just pass them along and keep whatever profits you make off of those. But certain items, which I believe the envoy, Sharut mentioned, would be able to identify, would be requisitioned as significant and sent elsewhere. Like I said, of the large trove of items we discovered and brought back with us, only a handful would have qualified under Sharut's understanding of culturally significant artifacts.
You know, that was actually a question that I had because of something Geralt told me. She said that you was giving her the actual armor worn by the warlord what used to run his place.
Correct, but we kept his weapon.
But why would you give up his armor if what the little one here is looking for is items of cultural significance? What's more culturally significant than the armor that a warlord wears in a battle?
The spear that he wielded in the battle. That is, as Sharut has mentioned several times, again, I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, Sharut, I just don't want there to be a mistranslation. It's something about the cultural heritage. They value the weapon that has the legend of the warlord more than the armor he happened to wear.
Yeah,
that
but
makes
I
sense?
imagine in this legend, if all the warlord had was that weapon, he wouldn't have been called some sort of like the warlord and the commander of the frozen spear. He would have been called that naked git with a stick who everybody is looking at because he run around naked with some sort of frozen stick. Wouldn't that be right?
Delian's just guffawing at that. That naked git with a stick busted him.
But hey, if what y'all looking for is sort of specific items, you can just write them down, and if we find them, they're yours. Finding things is what we do. If they're there, we gonna come across them. We gonna come across everything down there. We gonna go over everything with a fine-tooth comb, and then create a finer tooth comb out of what we find, and go over everything with that.
Sharut, do you have a list of things you expect to find? I believe we've had this issue before.
Like, I don't know if Sharut does have a list of things he expects to find. He knew he was going to find the spear down there, but that's why he suggested the envoy. So the envoy could identify those things.
All right, so what you want, you give us this information, you contact your friends, your people, you send some sort of envoy. I imagine there's going to be a goblin, hobgoblin, bugbear. If we have to pick between the three, the ones... Of those three, I would beg of you to send a bugbear because they don't tend to bullshit. They just get to the point, and I like that in a person. So you would send somebody, let's hope it's a bugbear, and this person would come up and he would speak to us. He would clear items as being, no, that is not culturally significant. This is just the spoon that the High Lord Warlord ate with at breakfast when he wanted himself an egg and some chicken. And then... The other ways that we would go with this is, no, that is culturally significant. We need that spoon. There was a song about it 4,000 years ago.
Something along those lines.
how many
Like,
vetoes and quid pro quos and little claimants does this envoy get? So
that's a fair question.
Here's the fair thing. I think that you would be able to say that your envoy can say that something. Your envoy gonna come up. He gonna say, "No, this belong to us. So what we gonna need this. But if we feel that they's just taking everything that's expensive, we just gonna go. You don't get to be here no more."
I suppose someone more gifted in law could write up a clause in a contract for that.
Dandarin.
House Thrash.
I really hope we find someone like that.
House Thrash typically isn't the, hey guys, let's follow all the rules here. This is very much the like spit on a shake kind of family. Which is why he's like haggling it out as like that's the problem, is what Sharut said could very easily lead to them like just being screwed out of things. Because the envoy could just be like, no, and like just take everything. So
If Sharut can put at ease. Sharut know worth of armor. Sharut did not want armor. Sharut's people are same.
So you just want little trinkets, little artifacts that appear in some songs, legends, poems, that sort of like things that people know about because they know about them, not the things that people know about because of how useful and worthwhile they are. You some sort of dirge singer or something like that. That's what you are, huh?
Sharut is from Ketch Volar, not part of Dirt Singer, unfortunately. Can send Dalal. Perhaps she give better idea. Also, speak better common.
You gotta go over with me what a Darlal is, because I don't know, but I'm assuming that is maybe some sort of translator.
He'll tell him who Darlal is.
Okay, and he goes, all right, we'll take this Darlal envoy here. We work with her, and in exchange, you sort of let us see the maps you got right now. We gotta deal with those, copy them over. Fair is fair?
It's fair.
I know there was be working with you. Come on over here. And and after making this kind of tough, he just walks over and they basically they have you like lay out your maps, and then he go, "Oh yeah, no, he's good. Clovis, you wanna get up in here and go ahead and trinket him over?" And Clovis nods and he goes, "Yeah, I can do." And he Clovis will walk over, and you see him kind of like, he has basically a quiver at his side like you have for your bolts, but he just has wands. And he starts like kind of fingering through them, and then he grabs a wand out, and you see him sort of not actually touch the wand to your map, but he just sort of like starts scribbling on it with the wand from above, and then he scribbles onto a blank map, and it just starts drawing your map over. And then they'll most of what they're taking is like when you talk about a building, when you talk about like a map of the inside, a sketch of the building, you know, anything that you guys see, how you got there from the cathedral, all of that stuff. That's what he's taking. He's taking like the paths and the maps because this is what they do. Like it helps them out. Knowing the ways to things is like their whole house. And
as it's scribbling over, Dandred will point out, like, this building here, we believe it was the armory. There's a creature guarding it, a Death Knight. As long as you go unarmed and you don't try and tear that place apart looking for things, you should be safe. But just no warning.
All right.
He'll kill the shit out of you if you try and cause trouble there.
Fair and fair. Thank you. And
he'll mark down like where we saw him patrolling.
Yeah, and they'll make little notes on the stuff, and you know anything that you guys have, like, hey, this big statue in the middle is alive. Like they'll
like the
stuff.
This is a Cardiff. Beware, go around.
Things that you guys in Sharut saw from a distance but didn't actually experience up close. They'll just sort of like scribble down, but you know, without any notes of like, because at one point you guys saw that there was a lake, but you didn't like go there, you know what I mean? So they'll just be like, all right, like big mushrooms in a lake and that sort of stuff. And then they'll ask you, once Clovis is done, sort of sheathes the wand again. He goes, "Now the big question here, and sorry to wait for this one till the end, but people always sort of think that we're gonna get to this first. The path is more important than the journey a lot of the time, but let's say for the actual, journey, things we going for, the end, the goal. Geralt said that you found a mess of shards down there. These shards was already picked through, carved, ready to go, or did you actually find a node somewhere and pull these yourselves?"
We did not find a node. These were
Shards mined were in workshop.
Well,
the implication would be, in the area, there likely is a node somewhere close by.
of course, yeah. Well, I mean, you can always find a couple of them copper crystals. You go far enough down there, but knowing a little bit about where they might be always speed thing up a little bit. Speed thing up. Fewer people down there. Fewer days down there. Fewer days down there. Fewer deaths down there. And that's ultimately the goal. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. All right.
We only found the shards pre-mined, I'm afraid. There might be some more in that area, as a note, and then we'll just tell them about the fact that Zeract and Troll in the castle, who are friendlies.
So you're saying it's a friendly troll? All right. Well, we might get a troll of our own go down there with us just to make sure that they're all troll, able to meet, able to talk to each other, and even friendly trolls typically ain't all too friendly. That's why, for the most part, when House Thrash work with some sort of giant, we tend to work with ogres. Ogres ain't friendly either, but they dumb and they hungry, and if you feed them, they'll be dumb and loyal.
Gulka fine. Very calm.
Gumgulka, is that some sort of name, or is that like a species?
That is the name of the troll. His name is Gumguka.
Oh, that's cute. He got himself a name. He's like a real person and everything. You don't usually see that from a troll.
He's surprisingly educated, speaks a number of languages, and has skill in alchemy. Please do not underestimate him.
You were seeing the House Thrash representatives in the back of the room talking to each other like, what the fuck? And you were telling them no, I'm telling you, this pig breathes fire and flies.
He can also speak French.
Yeah. That's some pig.
I understand your hesitance to believe, but all present here saw this and spoke with him at length.
I mean, I didn't, but I saw him speak.
All right. Well, we'll keep that in mind.
He called me an idiot.
Wasn't too kind, but I'm sure he had his reasons.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like typically when dealing with, we'd all have our reasons, I think. And
Hurtful.
Agree.
And
hurtful.
So yeah, they're definitely less interested in the map of the inside of the castle, especially after what Geralt said. It doesn't necessarily sound like they're going to spend a lot of time there.
Okay.
But like if you give him a layout, he'll still sketch it over, but he won't really like he's not particular about it. It seems like they are very much there for the dragon shards. Everything else that they find is like incidental and a bonus.
Okay. Did they also shared their information with Sharut, correct?
Yeah, if you want actually no, because that wasn't the terms of the deal. The terms of the deal were that you get to send an envoy.
The terms of the deal were exchange the information, to exchange the information.
No,
I would like to send this envoy. That was the terms of the deal.
No, that
That's
wasn't the terms.
Be careful with wording.
You said that you wanted to send an envoy so that the envoy could pick artifacts, and they allowed for that. So
that's fine.
They will. So they go. All right. Well, now that the business is done, and I do want to thank all y'all for bringing his business to us with this sort of, most people wouldn't have done what y'all did. There's still a lot of animosity between different places, different peoples, different nations, and the fact that y'all could just treat ours as people, even if ours was mostly more or less yours, just on loan, on rent, on hire, it says something about y'all, and I just want to let you know what it says about y'all is fairly uplifting, fairly good, and we will make sure that others know and hear of it. Not the particulars, because we don't want anyone go digging where they should be, but they will know that y'all's is trustworthy and worth dealing with. But that was business, and after business we get to other things. And he looks back and he goes, Geralt, there's something you want to say to your constituents over from New Seer, I believe. And she kind of nods and she stands up, and she's still kind of like gripping her side because like the wounds are gone, but like the flesh is still sore. And she stands and she goes, I wanted to thank all of you again for everything that you've done, and let you know that since you are a Siren contingent from one of my home lodges, I'm going to put in writs of favor, and you can cash those in with me, and I'll put those in for each of you, or you can cash them in with the house if you'd like, if I'm not around. If they're with me personally, they'll get you a bit more, but the house would still honor they would still honor these sorts of deals. And
oh, thanks.
She kind of hands them off to a kind of gangly looking female orc, and the woman walks up and she will hand each of you a writ. Basically, you all get a little like folded thing or a rolled thing that has a little scroll on it or a little ribbon on it, and these will be good for. And you basically get to decide if you want one favor from the house or 2 favors from Geralt. If it's a dangerous favor, it would cost you both favors from Geralt. If it's like, hey, we need you on this hunt, it would cost you both. The House Thrash is the house with the mark of finding. They're the bounty hunters, they're the treasure hunters, they're the pathfinders, but they're also skilled scouts, and they kind of compete with House Deneth by having mercenaries, and their mercenaries are mostly monsters from Droem. It's like ogres and minotaur and stuff like that. So there's a good amount that you could get with some favors from House Thrash, and basically that's what they're offering you as thanks for what you've done.
Nice.
And then she will let you all know, and she goes, don't shake the scrolls too much. I've put there's a Kundarak ruby in each of them, so from my own stores. Just want to make sure that you're each well paid and well compensated for what you've done here, because you didn't just save lives. You saved the whole dig, the whole expedition. You prevented everyone from having to go down there again just as blind. And now we know a bit more about what's going on down there. So we did want to thank you all.
Oh, well, thanks. And then he tosses his scroll with ruby in the air, landing it in his shadow, which disappears.
And like you see the head half orc that was talking to you just kind of look at you, and he looks to Clovis and he goes, don't like him, don't never like him, not one. Never met one that knows how to behave in front of company. Everything they do is just wrong. It's either wrong or it's rude, or it's rude or it's wrong. And like Geralt will just kind of like slap his shoulder a bit, and he goes, sorry. And then he looks to you, Delian, and there's this big fake smile on his face, and he goes, everything you just did is acceptable.
That's right. It sure is. Because otherwise, you'd be wrong.
I think we're all done here. Everything that need to be said been said, right?
Yes. Thank you for seeing us, and again, our condolences for your losses, and many blessings upon your journeys going forward.
That too.
And Tercia, Geralt will look at you and say, Lady Earwerbos, I know that you were accompanying us on something of a lark just to, well, this was really your first foray into that sort of work. Were you going to stay on for now, or have you fallen in with this group on a more permanent basis?
It's kind of up in the air. I'm not entirely certain yet. But from now on, you don't need to call me by my title. We have nearly died together.
You can call me Miss Earwerbos.
You can just call me Tercia.
And she'll kind of nod, and she says, "Well, if you're cashing out, I can give you what you've earned so far now. If you're staying on, then I suppose we're going back down in 2 days. So please be ready."
I'm likely to leave before you. I think these folks are looking to leave sooner than that.
All right. Well, this time we'll be taking a couple more soldiers down there with us. And,
I think that's a smart idea.
I think we'll have the scouts farther afield in case they meet with that same sort of beast that they did before. So
What beast?
we don't know. We saw eyes in the darkness, and then everything just went terribly for us.
If you have access to basic weapons, bring a few of those.
And the one that was talking to you the first time, he goes, "We got a few. We got some arrowheads and a couple hammers. If need be, in Rowett, there's a beige greatsword we can get our hands on at one of our bigger lads carry. We can either get the sword or the lad or both. So we need to make that sort of call.
Here.
We can make it."
Here, have this. And he pulls out the beige dagger and just hands it over. I don't think I'll be needing it right now.
And you see this gigantic orc grab Delian's dagger, and it looks like he is holding the daintiest little purple butter knife. And he goes, "Yeah, this will strike the fear, and I can just tell. Knee's gonna be shaking."
I mean, it
Danner's
works.
gonna look him. Danner's gonna look him dead in the eyes. They will be. They fear it like you fear the.
Like, the screams
nightmare.
haunt my dreams to this day.
Well, I mean, it's the same day, ain't it?
Yeah, still fresh.
You done just got up and out of there this morning.
I hear them now.
They come for me.
Always wrong and rude. And you'll see him like slip it through his belt, and like it's such a small knife for him that when he slips it into his belt, like you don't even see the blade come out of the bottom. It just looks like there's a handle that just disappears into the leather.
Stabbed himself.
Yeah.
Never know when he bleeds out and dies. Oh no!
Oh god, the aberrations won't eat me now. All right.
He's so chill.
So, is there anything that you guys need from or wanted to speak about with House Thrash anymore?
I think we're good for now.
Okay.
No, I'm good.
I just want to say my goodbyes to Slapper and the rest of the Syrians.
Yeah, and you guys are more than welcome to do that. When you go in, they've basically set up like a triage tent in the other building, so you walk outside and across this little courtyard and then into the other building, and they've got like the first floor is kind of like a been converted into a little hospital, and some of the ones that are that were like treated but were still not like on their feet are getting a bit more treatment there. They're doing what they can to like fix up the minor wounds, see who just needs a little bit of time and who needs to be like, look, like you can't do this anymore. And in that place is going to be like the FA and Simkiss and Slapper and Poises. They're just kind of like hanging out and helping where they can. So if you go in there, you can see Slapper. He's doing what he can to help, but since his build is similar to yours, but his hands are similar to Stalwart's, it's a weird thing. Like,
Yeah.
there's only so much that the man with the gigantic hands can do to like set a bone.
You cannot set your bone, but would you like to catch these hands?
I mean,
Let us
pray. I'm a very pious man. Strike the fear of God into those people.
But yeah, when you come in, he will look up, and Warforged don't really smile, so he'll just look at you and go, Lumio. And then he kind of like pats the person he's working on the chest, and he says, "Stay there. I will return." And
I assume this
then
pat
he kind
just
of like,
thrusts him to the floor.
and then he stands up and just leaves them there in the middle of what they were doing. And as he's walking away, Poissus goes, "Slapper," and Slapper goes, "Poissus." And then Slapper just keeps walking towards you, and Poissus goes, "Never mind, Slapper, I got it." And he goes, "Thank you, Poissus." And then he's just next to you.
I love Warforged so much.
And then he's just next to you, and he goes, "Hello, Lumio."
Hello, Slapper. Thank you for the warm greeting.
Shepherd Rex.
We were about to depart, making all haste back to New Seer.
Could you check in on my roommate? I stay with a changeling in 3 tents.
I would be happy to. What name do they go under?
Their name is Naj, and they are... they can be somewhat hard to identify if you are not in 3 tents, because they do shift as soon as they go into the other districts, into something that they feel is more pleasing to the eye of the locals.
Of course.
But no,
I recently met a changeling who consistently was what do they call themselves?
Korovar?
Korovar. Yes, that's the one.
And he nods and he goes, "I think I had seen that one around town. The skin often changed, but the hairdo never did, nor did the
Indeed.
clothing.
That is exactly the one that I was referring to.
So it was like an endless line of twins all wearing the same outfit."
Never showering.
Indeed, that is very much the same. You may notice them about Star Slacksker now. Be very careful not to interact with them. They are marked by one of the criminals here.
Do you mean all changelings or that specific changeling?
That specific changeling.
And Slapper will nod, and he says, "I will endeavor to let the other Sirens know, if that is the case. They may have some sort of connection to them, and I would not want anything to happen to them."
Yeah, the same. For my part, I warned you out of courtesy and foreknowledge that they may attempt to approach you. Do not regard them coldly, but do not form contracts with them, as they may be the work of dangerous fellows.
I will keep this in mind. Valuable advice. Thank you.
Thank you. I return now to New Seer. I hope to see you there in the future.
I have the feeling that this dig will take a few months, as we do not know the actual node location from what I've heard Geralt saying this morning. But should we find it, we will hopefully be able to clear it out quickly and cash in. It could be a week. It could be a few months. But either way, we'll return.
That is
I've promised Effie I promised Effie I will get her home, and I will get her home.
That is news I am glad to hear. I have hoped that some of the exploration that we did and left with the representatives of House Thrashk will speed your pursuits.
I will let you know if it does, though that might be guesswork. They are not always forthcoming with their sources.
This is so often the case.
Well, it was good seeing you. And he kind of like reaches out and puts a hand on your shoulder, and it is like it's like an ogre just decided to hold a toddler.
Yeah,
but it's like
I've gotten that feeling before.
Yeah, and it's just like this huge arm, and he just kind of like squeezes it a little bit, and he's like, "Fair travels," and then he turns back and he walks back over to the person that he was helping.
Yeah. While that is happening, Lumio attempts to, but may not be able to balance it out. Do the same gesture to slap her shoulder.
Yeah, you can do it. It just looks comical, like his hand on yours.
Yeah.
Or,
I
sorry,
mean, it
his-
looked comical when I did it to Stalwart like a week ago. But
yeah, doing it to Stalwart is absolutely the opposite, though.
yeah, because everything looks right on Stalwart.
Yeah. So yeah, and Slapper will go back, and to where Poissus is helping one of the wounded, and Stalwart. Slapper will go back to where Poissus is helping that guy that Slapper was helping, and he'll just stand there and just sort of watch, because honestly, this is the better play anyway. Like,
Yeah.
don't do the dainty high dex things with the big hands. All right. Anyone else doing anything at the House Thrash place?
Not in it.
All right. So as everybody else is sort of talking inside, we will. The camera will sort of back up out the window and then switch and point at Quintus, who is, I guess, hanging around the wagon.
He's worked his way inside the wagon, and he's kind of setting up a spot to sit down for a little bit because he's done this before, and he knows that A, he's not going to be paying a whole lot of attention, but B, he can get caught up in the process, and he wants to be comfortable. So he's trying to find inside the wagon itself a place where he can just kind of sit down, cross-legged, and focus.
Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, he opens himself up again to that murmuring of spirits, and taps into the spirit of the city. The specific talent I'm using is called Witness the City,
Which is a mind talent, right?
It's a divination talent.
Divination talent. Nice.
Yes. The text, which I feel is important, says, "You may spend a spell point to see, hear, smell, feel, and even taste a torrent of past scenes and pieces of conversations related to anything in the settlement you are currently in. At the end of each of your turns for the duration of this divination, attempt a single diplomacy check to gather information as though you'd spent 1d4 hours talking to the local people without actually having to use an action to do so. If I repeat requests, I get the same information, and I can swap that out for perception at a -5 penalty."
Okay. And so it's at the end of each of your turns. How long does that last?
A divination is typically spend 1 minute meditating for a divination. Has a duration of concentration.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you're witnessing the city, what's your first kind of question that you're asking?
How embedded is Herrick in Starlasker?
Okay. Give me your diplomacy check.
So, the note about gathering information is I don't actually use diplomacy for that. I use knowledge local.
Okay. Give me your knowledge local check.
And because it is a knowledge skill, and because I'm a spiritualist, I roll twice.
Okay. So it's a 31.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you guys all make equally broken nonsense bullshit characters, but they're all broken in a new, bright and shiny way.
This is the system you told us to use.
I think it's, well, like Lumio's ability to give everybody the ability to like hit 2 things with every attack roll. Nonsense.
That's pretty
It's
busted.
insane.
Yeah.
Tertia's whole like, I'm gonna switch between all of these different weapons that each do different effects and all that. Kind of crazy. Dandrin's ability to break, to absolutely shatter somebody's weapon and then just pick it up and think it back together. Stupid. Like, everybody has their own, like, Sharut has functionally unlimited healing, provided that he's healing a functionally unlimited number of people. He just can't heal the same person too many times a day. But if he's healing everybody once, it just keeps going. Because why not? Like,
Stick him in the middle of an army, goddamn.
yeah. So, anyway. All right. How embedded is Herrick Kuhl? Herrick Kuhl, at this point, is in control of most of the Vathi districts, which are down here.
Yep.
And more importantly, Herrick Kuhl is buying, threatening, or otherwise beginning to control people in the various guilds and unions in Starlasker. He is most entrenched with those in the Shipwrights Guild. Sorry, not the Shipwrights Guild, but basically the, like, Airmen's Union. Because the Shipwrights Guild is an official Lyrander guild. And that's kind of the difference between like guilds and unions in Eberron. Is like guilds are officially like dragon marked recognized, and unions are a bunch of people that came together to do a thing. But the people that work around the airship docks, he controls a lot of them, and he's starting to control people who are further up. And the other one is with the stevedores, for the kind of like main section over here. He is beginning to control a good number of those folks.
It sounds like he's working to the analysis that Quintus pulls from this is he's working to get his grip around trade in Star Alaska.
Yep, he wants to control what goes in and out.
Okay, that's extremely powerful.
Well, because and with a role like a knowledge local role like that, Star Alaska is a trade city. Everything about this city is because it's a trade city. It has trade unions. It has Teamsters. It has all of this. It sits at, maybe once it didn't. Yeah, once Metrol was the major trade hub. Like, the capital of Seer was the major trade hub for the entire continent. But Metrol doesn't exist anymore. It's kind of becoming Star Alaska. It doesn't have water trade because it's too landlocked. But it does, like, it is the sort of center of, like, the rail line, at the very least.
Okay. Alrighty. Next question. Let's see. How loyal is Hercule to Seer? Understanding that this comes from the perspective of how he presents himself, because it would be how the city sees him.
He definitely took the loss of Seer very hard, and if nothing else, he pays a lot of lip service to Seer. He actually is trying to think of how to put it. Yes, he is a crime lord, but the majority of the people in the gang, like his gang being the Mourners, the majority of the people in the Mourners are either Seerans or gangs that the Seerans have overtaken that are just full of refugees from elsewhere. So, like, there is a lot of national pride there. As far as how loyal he is, you have no idea. Because he's a crime lord, and those guys are usually pretty selfish.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Let's see, I've kind of got the scope of his activities. Got the shape of sort of where he's at this stage. If I wanted to get a message to Hercule, how could I do that?
Go ahead and roll for me.
Oh, sorry, ignore that one. I was taking 10. That's not what that's supposed to do. I really need to just pull this over onto my bar.
Yeah, probably. A message to Hercule. There's various ways you can do it. You begin to learn of certain bars that he doesn't necessarily frequent, but that he has a stake in. And if something was dropped off at one of those, it would be magically checked over, but eventually it would likely make its way to him if it was addressed to him. But that is, for the most part, people don't really reach out to him. He works through intermediaries.
Of course.
Yeah. Most people don't have, like, the Al Capone's, like, cell phone number. Like,
yeah, no, absolutely. Just the methods of reaching out to him are pretty sufficient. This next one's probably going to be pretty rough. Is there anything the city in general is aware of as far as a blind spot in his ambitions, in the way that he's moving forward, things that he hasn't considered based on the moves he's taken thus far?
Sure. Go ahead and roll it. And I'm gonna give this to you, and it's gonna be sort of based on what you've heard from your friends, your like teammates as they were giving a debrief and all this stuff. Star Alaska is not a city that changes very quickly, and when somebody pushes against it too fast, the city pushes back really hard. And so he might be trying to do too much too fast. And if he continues to do that, There have been in the past certain instances where, like, the guilds and the unions will come together along with powerful, noble individuals, potentially with lanterns. Lanterns being the sort of like secret police of Brayland. And potentially with just adventurers because adventurers are basically just fucking mercenaries. And they will sort of restore the balance. And yeah, so like if he tries to change too much too fast, which you know that he's doing, it could just be that like the city responds by just wiping him off the map.
Yeah, just collapses on top of him.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question, unrelated to Hercule. What are some burgeoning business opportunities that look promising? Look like they might become promising within the next month or so.
For Starlasker?
Yeah, for Starlasker. Within Starlasker, with the businesses inside, like the things that people are talking about in quiet corners, that sort of thing.
Things that people are talking about in quiet corners.
You want me to roll for it, or is that?
Yeah, definitely go and roll. It'll be a little rough.
Yeah.
That one's not going to do it.
Nope. That one is the
won't.
actual number.
So, there is you were just told about this, and you have already picked up rumor of the line that's going to be going to New Seer.
Yep. Oh, that's out already. Okay, wow.
That's out already. So there's definitely some business to be made there. There's also they are planning for basically in a full-on river, and by this, what I will mean is I will show this to you. This right here is a mountain.
Yeah.
I forget the name of this mountain, but it's a mountain. But this isn't. There is some talks of a plan to literally like dig a river all the way to Lake Bray. Basically because it would not just open up Starlasker to a little bit of water trade, because, you know, the Bray River goes all the way up and it can like connect over to this. But because they would be able to assist with things like, you know, like just having closer water and more prevalent thing than just like underground aquifers and stuff like that is just useful. So you know that is also something that's being discussed, is what would it take for us to literally dig a river to Lake Bray. But those are the main ones that you get, is the line and the river.
Okay. Cool. It's a lot of information, and I imagine that the process of it coming in is pretty disorienting and really taxing. So Quintus will limit himself to that information.
Yeah. Makes sense. Especially because you're experiencing this on like a sensory level that doesn't necessarily match with the information. So it's like, please tell me the flavor of this information.
Yeah. Is it grape? I like grape.
You taste grapes, you smell pizza, and now you know the secrets. It's like, wait, what?
Quintus is going to make note that there are 2 additional stops that need to be made.
Okay.
One is at one of these bars.
Yeah.
Where Hercule can be have a message sent, and then he wants to send a message indirectly to the embassy, and I'm sure that he knows the methods to do so. And so he'd like to stop at a location similarly where he can pen something for like one of the low-level stewards who he knows is going to take the information up.
Yeah, the easiest way to get a message to get a message sent to somebody and to have it not be intercepted is to either go through the Kinku or to go through House Civis. Being that you're a gnome, it's probably just better to go through House Civis, because the Kinku will give you a lot of shit, and he's been in town for a couple days and he knows that by now.
Yeah. That's totally fair. So yeah, somewhere to stop. Then he can do that thing.
Sounds good. Okay, so about the time that you wrap up, everybody comes back out and gets back in the wagon.
Quintus like shakes himself out, picks up his blankets, does some stretches. Well, that was useful.
While all of you were inside, I was doing yoga.
I've learned quite a bit.
Get yourself a nice little home. What'd you find out, eh?
Quite a bit about our friend Herrick Kuehl, actually. I'm going to see if I can reach out to him and establish at least a line of communication.
What would be the goal of such a thing?
By all visible extent, Herrick Kuehl is a patriot of Seer. While I may disagree with his methods and his approach, the fact that he is willing to bend so much to the restoration of our homeland may put us in alignment. There's a possibility of overlap that is beneficial to all of us. He's also driving quite hard in a direction that may be detrimental to his current operation, and as a sign of good faith, some advice from a long-term diplomat and someone who understands how these sorts of things work may be of benefit in not just establishing a proper rapport, but also helping to guide this to the use of Seer as a larger entity.
See, I understand your long-term thinking, and it makes sense. Quintus, I need you to know something very important before you do any such thing. That man threatened my family, and he kidnapped and brutalized a friend of mine. I am opposed to working with this man or allowing him to continue to live in the long term.
Like, you say that, and Quintus's expression doesn't even really change, and he's like, well, once a structure exists, then putting figureheads in place or simply moving around the pieces on the board, that's all very doable, I think. But the structure must exist. These are resources that ultimately benefit the homeland, and they must be used.
We must make sure that he's in charge, and then replace him.
It's like...
I simply wanted to honestly let you know where I stood on the matter, since you will be a guest on our way back home.
And I appreciate that information. By sharing what we know openly, it allows us to work most efficiently towards that noble end.
Right. Well, if no one's got any other business, we're off to House Beneath to pick up for Sidna.
I do need to make a stop at a House Civis post, as well as, and then he provides a name of an inn.
Yeah, and making the stop at a House Civis place is pretty easy. So, like, you can do that on the way and just scribble something down and get your message to the ambassador. What does your message consist of?
That he is making overtures to Herrick Kuehl without actually, like, naming him.
Okay.
To our friend HC, a loyal patriot. And that he is going to advise the individual in question of a business opportunity that would benefit New Seer, as that it seems to align with his proclivities. He's also going to suggest that friends of the nation purchase land to the northwest of the city.
Okay.
And that's explicitly built as a don't do this as an official Syrian ambassador. That's why it's friends of the cause. He's like, just have people who are loyal to Syr do this so that we can make use of it later. All
right. And yeah, so you send that off. If you just want it sent, that's real easy. That's 2 gold. If you want it sent and for mums the word about it, House Civis won't tell anyone, that will be 10.
Yeah, he pays 10 gold.
Okay.
It's not even a like, he's just like, well, I do value my privacy, but he's also downplayed and really hidden anything that's viable.
Yeah.
Inside this. So
cool. And yeah, so everybody goes to stop by the main House Beneath enclave, which, considering what it is, the one that for Sidna and Corley and Boween we're going to is sort of in the middle of the city. And it's just very much that sort of House Deneath enclave. Like, it's a big fenced-in building that is more like, sort of barracks and training yard than it is anything else. It's got the Deneath flag, which is that standard that has the 3 heads of the Chimera and then a spiked fist holding a double-bladed knife. And it's just very Deneath. Yeah, it's one of those like, oh yeah, look at the buildings. Oh, they've really tried to reclaim this area. Spikes. Oh, okay, yeah.
That sounds like.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say that sounds like the location that we're looking for. Dandern, shall we?
He just stepped away.
Of course he did.
Well,
yes. Let's head on in, Dandern.
I'll go with you, Lumio.
all right.
Tanner doesn't seem like he wants to talk.
Yeah, he gets quiet sometimes. We know that about him.
my brother would have done.
I love how 2 of you are my brother right now.
Here's the House Deneath standard for anybody who would like to see it. It's just so aggressive compared to a lot of the other ones that are like, we make things. They fucking fight stuff. That's what they do. So
3 things that we fight. Also, this is what we fight them with.
Yes.
And sometimes we put spikes on the things that we fight them with.
we will fight a dragon, and we will fight a lion, and if necessary, a goat.
Goat scares us. Please don't make us.
Please, they got weird eyes. We don't like the goat.
It was a story that happened once. We can't speak of it ever again.
The goat costs more.
The goat costs more.
While they're doing what they need to inside, sure, it's going to be making more salts.
Sounds good. So sure, it's going to be making some salves, and then Lumio and Tertia and Dillian. It sounds like the 3 of you, maybe Quintus, the 4 of you, are heading in to speak with the Deneath folks. So
Quintus is curious. He's interested.
Yeah.
Yes. So it is. It's the early afternoon. So it's like 1-ish, maybe coming up around 2, and there are just people training. Like, you just see men and women of various ages, all of them human. Well, not all of them. The vast majority of them human. The reason the vast majority of them are human is because, to officially be part of the house, you have to be human. But you could still be a hired mercenary that works for the house and be something else. But the vast majority human, probably 80% of the 200-ish people that you see training here. And they are just...
So we really stand out.
You guys really stand out. Because
I don't know what you mean.
You have no humans at all in this group. The closest that you have is Tertia, and Tertia is very much an elf. But yeah, there will be. They don't really have like gate guards because everyone here is armed and armored at all times. So when you walk in, it's just one of those fucking try it. And
this is my favorite guild in the Citadel.
And yeah, eventually, some human dude who has kind of sort of the on the sides of the hairline are going up, and he's got the long ponytail and a real thick mustache. This thing just starts under his nose and goes down his the sides of his mouth, and then further down to where it's sort of he has 2 goatees with a space in between.
Oh, wonderful! Like that dude from Sword in the Stone.
Yeah. And he walks over and he goes, "All right, who are you?"
Greetings. I am Lumio. These are my companions. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Oh, hi. My name's Dillian.
Ah, the lot of you coming to join up?
Purpose. We seek to hire a member of your house who we recently had a contract with.
Ah, well, good to know that our folks are making you think that they're worth hiring again. Who was it exactly? I can speak with the master of the docks and check and see if they're open. They're ready for you.
It would be one for Sidna. No last name given?
Well, I mean,
2 for Sidna's
if
if
she's
available.
part of the family, her last name is the house name. And,
Yes.
he kind of when you say it though, like when you say her name, you see his brows knit together a little bit, and he kind of goes, "Oh, yeah, come with me. I'll have you talk with Maynard, and maybe Maynard will be able to answer your questions."
I was aware that there would be some complications.
There are, based on what she's been requesting. I think she expected you all to show up. So, come on in. And he will sort of walk you through the yard. And, like, you're all just kind of, you see people of various levels of skill. Like, there might be some in here who are, like, 12 or 13, and this is potentially the first time they've ever held a sword, up to people who, like, that sword moves like it's part of them. Lumio, can you give me a will save, please, at a +2?
You run in fear.
Oh god, I hate swords.
Didn't let me add
He's having
a
a dumb
+2,
flashback.
but there we go.
So you
13.
You look over and you see a pair of people fighting with pole arms, and one of them has a glaive, so it's like that sort of backwards sweeping blade.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one has a standard Brandistock, where it's just like, it looks like a fishing spear, It's like the 3 tines that are really like spread out. And they're just kind of sparring and practicing with each other and getting the measure of each other. And as you're walking and you're just kind of glancing over everybody, your eyes stop on them, and then you stop and you just look at them, and you feel this like urge to go that way. And then you sort of like shake your head and snap out of it, and like you can, jog a step or two to catch up with the rest of the group.
Quite so. I'm sorry, you were saying?
Maynard says that she's going through some things. You know how it can be when you lose people. So, hey, we all got to deal with it every now and then. But they can explain that to you. And so, you guys go in. You get led to a room with a rather thin man who has a rapier on his hip, and just very like a well-coiffed mustache and a well-coiffed goatee and no hair because it looks like somebody burned most of his scalp. But like the facial hair, just really well done. And he goes, "Oh, hello. The Del Rue was telling me that the group of you would like to rehire for Sidna."
That is correct.
Well, she explained to me that this would be less of a hiring and more of a long-term assignment, and an assignment that does not necessarily feel the coffers of the house. She said that she had personal business to attend to dealing with the loss of her cousins, and that you had said that you would help with such a thing.
I made several assertions, and whether she listened to all of them, I don't believe all of the information that I provided her was necessarily picked up. The filling of the coffers is something that will likely happen in the course of our business. We are on the path towards that vengeance of which she seeks so well, but it is not the path that is the shortest travel, and it is one that it may lead to Forcinda gaining much strength of arm and of ability, which I think will be long-term very useful to House Deneath. We, of course, will take care of her in all of the usual fashions for a hired sword, keeping her well-armored, fed, and healed to the best of our abilities.
And he nods and he goes, "Well, you say that, of course, but..." And you hear a voice behind you, and it's Forcinda's voice, and she says, "He is just speaking to you because he knows that I will not change my mind, and he hopes to have you change yours. I have told him that this is happening, and he disagrees."
I did not know that I needed to change mind. I made an attempt to hire you regardless, Forcinda. But I have to be perfectly honest that the path we are taking is not the direct route to your vengeance that you seek.
And that is what he is opposed to. We should not be on the path of vengeance or the path of justice or anything else. He thinks that the house serves only to be neutral. I am not doing this as a member of the house. And you see that she is... she walks in, and she has her armor on, and she has her shield on, but she doesn't have the tunic. And the armor has the sort of like cloth covering that she'd put on to hide the House Deneath symbols. And she says, I'm doing this as a member of a family who has lost her favorite cousins. He cares only for money. He cares only for neutrality, for the tenets of the house. And at the moment, I could give a shit. And you see the guy just kind of like hang his head and shake it a little bit. And he goes, Fosidna, you are making a mistake. And she says, it is my mistake to make. Lumio said that he and his, they wish the same vengeance as me, for they have lost something as well. Whereas you, I know you. And if that man and his ilk came in this very day and offered you a contract, you would sign it, knowing full well what he had done. And she has this like duffel bag over one shoulder, and she just kind of like sets the strap so it fits a little better. And she says, I'm done talking with you. And Lumio, you do not need to talk with him either. He has no say in this. I will get my vengeance, and then maybe I will return to the sort of family that would work for that kind of monster. And
I understand. I do need to speak with him, however briefly. If you would like, we will meet up with you at the wagon.
Then off to the wagon I go. And she just kind of like turns and heads out. And you see that a lot of people are looking her way. Like, they understand what's going on, and they don't like it. They don't approve of it. But they understand what's going on. Like, they get why it would happen.
Dandre will go help Forsidna, like, get ready at the wagon.
Okay.
Thank you, Dandre. As soon as she's effectively out of earshot, he'll turn back to her. To Maynard?
Maynard.
Yeah. I apologize for the way that things are currently represented. I did not mean to create a situation that is so unruly and difficult to understand. I do not wish to do any form of suicide mission, but a transaction has occurred in which we will be plunging our blade towards the throat of the one who injured Forsidna. So I offered our allegiance in that endeavor. Whether that also provides Forsidna valuable experience outside of this is something that I think will happen regardless. I also intend, to some degree, to help her along the way of a warrior who is very capable towards ones of those whose ilk rendered her cousins so. And also to provide her with a path forward after such vengeance is carried out. It is a much more difficult thing, as I am aware, to continue marching forward once you have achieved your goal in bloodshed.
And he nods, and he goes, that is what I am worried about. Not that she would want vengeance, but we have been there, all of us. No man could survive the last war without the desire for vengeance on his heart. And I know that getting it leaves you feeling more empty than the drive that would make you want it in the first place. This will not fix any problem that she has. Loss is simply a fact, and she needs to understand that this happens. We are soldiers and bodyguards. We are mercenaries, and we lose people. And this was just her. This was her first real loss while she was in command.
Indeed. Let me rephrase it. I took a sword that was about to be broken of all usefulness, and I allowed it to retain its edge. I intend to sharpen it and strengthen it. I do not wish for it to shatter, and I do not wish to use it once that it may never be used again.
And
this is my intention, and I am working with New Seer. We are small, and we wish to be... Did I just... Oh, no. My system went. All my screens went black all of a sudden, so I freaked out a little bit.
Nope. You're fine.
Yep. All is good though. Okay, so where was my roll going? Yes. We have great ambitions that we need to accomplish, and with Forsidna's help, we may accomplish those. They are far beyond the incident that will happen with this individual and with his ilk. But we have to continue forward. And much like you say, we must continue forward after our vengeance has been expunged.
Can you give me a diplomacy check?
I can. I have used up all of my hero points. So. Ba-bam!
Bam! And he goes, I understand. And I am not so much worried about the sword that you would return, but the soldier wielding it. I was the one who made the decision to send her and her 2 cousins to Nucir. So she may blame herself. In time she may blame me. Then she may blame someone else who has set her on her path. The vengeance never stops. See that you take care of her, Mr. Lumio. By doing this, you would do a favor for all of Denith. She has some real talent. And while some of us would want her to cut those ties that she feels so strongly for those in her command, I am not one of them. I just want her to temper her hatred with, well, patience. If that would be all, it would probably be for the best that she is not alone right now. And I know that alone is what she feels. And
We can help in that regard.
And he kind of like nods to all of you, and at that point he'll call back and he goes, Delru will see you out. And then the man you met with the impressive mustache will kind of walk you back out to your wagon.
As Lumi is about to leave the room, he straightens up into attention, clicks his heels, and then nods, and then turns out in a very militaristic manner.
Look at this Warforged, being a Warforged over here.
What up?
As they're walking back, Quintus will turn to Lumi and say, "That was well said. I dare say you've done this before."
A bit of practice, I have, yes.
Seemed like something of a tense situation, but well handled. Well handled. Hopefully, you can deliver on those promises.
Indeed, they are lofty and well aimed for.
If I might inquire, who is the individual who has sparked such ire in this new friend of ours?
It's the one you inquired on just now. One Hercule. He has a subordinate, Whoopsa, who utilized the flesh of her cousin for several weeks to gain information about us.
Mm.
And then, just as we met you, rather unceremoniously left it.
Well, that's distasteful.
Real quick, just to cut in here so that there's a proper scope of time. I know that it was months for us doing the dungeon and stuff. She was actually only riding in Corley for about 5 days.
Yeah.
Like, just so that, like, we know that it wasn't weeks and weeks. It was a little bit less than a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometime.
Yeah, sometime. So, with that, you guys all climb back into the wagon.
Uh-huh.
And then you wanted to drop off a message at a bar, and then you guys can take, I'm assuming, this gate right here back out of town.
Seems like the right one.
The message at the bar, what did you want to say?
So he's going to start with just HC, and then lead in with, I believe that we share a common longing for a country lost unceremoniously, its people and its culture. It wounds my heart every day. The absence of friends and family, of the joys that once stirred my blood and gave me joyous thoughts that tickled my fancy and brought new and exciting explorations of art and history and music to my doorstep. I know that as a patriot, you too miss these wonders and are doing what you can to craft a pale shadow in this deficient place. As a fellow patriot, I wish to bid you this is not a task you need take alone, nor only with subordinates. And as one who would also see the revival of the wondrous seer, I'd ask that we open a channel of communication and work together towards that most lofty of goals. To that end, I offer you information that I believe may be of use to you. And he'll provide some information about the plan to open waterways to the northwest, and make some suggestions about like properties to invest in and properties to buy, while also hinting that he's kind of aware that Heracule is attempting to gain reins on the trade of Starlasker.
Okay.
Notably, he is not going to suggest anything about the fact that he might be moving too fast, because that is a little piece of information and tool that he wants to keep in his back pocket. But just kind of like offering that forward, and then signing it a patriot and lover of the arts, and then he'll put his name.
Okay, sounds good. And at that, the wagon, you'll drop it off at that bar, which is just like this dingy kind of rundown bar. And when you go in alone and say like, this is for Herrick, the bartender will be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you go like, well, this is for Herrick. And you just leave.
Yeah, just leave it on the bar and then turn around and leave.
And then you guys all get back into the wagon. And everybody just kind of like gets back on the road and just starts heading out. And I think at that, we'll take a break. And we'll be back in about 15 minutes. So be back here at 9:45. And yeah.
All right.
Mabruba.
My brother. My brother.
Bruda. Mabronto.
My brother. He's from the town of Mabronto. You're all idiots.
Not to be confused with Mephisto.
Mephisto.
The adventurer has died at the hands of Mephisto.
Mephisto or Bale. I'm sorry.
Mephisto, I've come to bargain.
Excuse me, sir. Bale was my father. You can call me Mabronto.
We're so fucking stupid.
Hey,
We shouldn't have
don't
gone
say
there.
we like we all did this.
That's true.
Only one of us did this, and it was my brother.
Brother.
Johnny, you're defined by the company you keep.
You missed all of our glorious spouting of.
No, let's not repeat that on stream, Justin.
Well, no, the reason
Put that out in the universe.
Truths we spoke.
Our Star Wars facts are quite on point. That's all I'm saying.
Very similar to Umberhulk facts,
no.
which is now being unsubscribed.
And would you look at that? I've unsubscribed.
Well, so the last time that I started listening to videos after I muted myself to like check a fact of something that I said like 20 episodes ago, Travis was like, "Why do I hear myself at 3 times normal speed?" And he thought he was having a seizure, and I didn't want to do that to him again.
I do
not
thank you.
on accident.
Only intentional now.
Yes.
I wish to kill the Travis tonight.
Bring me the Travis.
I will break the Hefling.
The Hemley.
We will begin with breaking the Travis.
I feel like if Palpy tried to say my name, he would just be drooling on himself because of just the way my name rolls off.
He's very like spitty.
Travis.
The Travis. Lord Vader. It's like, oh, Jesus. Dude, I have lenses, and I still felt that.
Do you have a napkin?
But guys, I'm saying Billy Crystal though.
Did the dark side kill your teeth? Is that the problem here? Anyway.
I'm so sweaty right now. I'm laughing too much.
That true sweaty gaming, fictional Star Wars RPGs.
It's those facts about Jar Jar though, right? Right?
Dude, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Star Wars facts. All right, so I'm gonna move us over to the map of Corvair as everybody starts to leave Star Lasker and get back on the road. And now we get back on the road, and we are here. And it's a little late, and you guys know that basically you have to make it to Exile, and then to Charon, and then to Jacker's Knack, and then finally home. And it's a trip that last time took you about 4 days. And last time you started in the morning, and right now you're starting in the sort of early afternoon. So what I would like is from Dandarin, who is driving the wagon. Please give please give me an on the road check.
I'm so excited for this. It's been so long.
Why are you trying to kill us like this?
Please drive the wagon, sir.
Drive adequately, I feel.
Survivors.
I would say that I am an adequate driver.
Oh no.
Of sorts.
Wait, we've been here before.
I'm trying to find
Lots
the road.
of death.
What?
There we go. So it's actually activate. There you go. And everybody is over here now. So, can I get a kind of general layout of what's going on with the wagon? I imagine Dandarin's the one driving it because he's the only one that knows how. So Dandarin's.
Well, first off, there's a lot here.
We looked down here, John Eric.
Oh, let me
Go
help.
south down the road.
There you go.
Exile, you're back.
Rex, what are you doing?
There you go.
Exile.
My God, is that Coralie and Boeing?
Handsome looking Warforged.
Whoops has gotten even more devious as time has gone on.
Hercule's heresy knows no bounds. We burn the city.
All right, so we got a seat that can hold two, and we can have, considering how packed Dandarin's wagon is.
It's not that packed, considering that it can hold like 4,000 pounds.
So it's not packed in terms of poundage. It's packed in terms of the fact that you packed it. You put like every possible thing you could put in it, including an anvil.
Ish.
And so we can only have about. Wait. No, there was a reason that we couldn't have everybody in the back of the wagon when we were coming here, and that's because it was holding the box that was containing Reddick.
We're not carrying the
And
super
we don't
big
have that
statue.
anymore.
Also, this wagon is bigger than the wagon we came here in.
Oh, did you buy a new wagon?
We came here in a medium-sized wagon. This is a heavy wagon.
Oh, you didn't tell me that you bought a wagon.
I did. I even paid. I paid the money.
I didn't know that you bought a wagon. I don't remember you saying anything.
Well, that's because it was before we went down underground.
30 sessions ago.
Look, it's only like 12 sessions. Thank you.
Look,
You know
still
what?
listening
You know
to
what?
that 3
You know
months
what?
ago.
For that attitude, hero point for everyone that's not Justin. How you like that one? How you like that?
Thanks for taking the bullet.
You know what's cool though? Coming in as a new character, I already had the hero points.
You know what?
Fine.
You know what? For those sorts of
It's pretty
facts-
good.
for those sorts of facts-
I don't actually refresh them as I level. I just come in with new characters.
Okay,
Oh, hell
Way to
yeah.
do it.
so there's a thing about the heavy wagon, and I will adjust that thing real quick. That thing is now adjusted.
It's massive.
The War
Holy
Crimes Waganto
fuck.
is a big boy.
This is why
Oh
we
my
call it
God.
the War Times Waganto.
My
We
God.
actually all fit now.
So yes, everybody that wants to can actually fit in the wagon. The front seat still only holds 2 people, so who would like to sit with Dandarin if anyone is sitting with Dandarin?
I could sit up front. I don't bother.
Finally, my true form is revealed.
So I love that everybody's above except for one.
Everybody should be above.
I don't see. I see the wagon. Yeah, everybody except for me is below.
I accidentally
You
clicked
in
on
for
it.
Sidna.
Yeah, Forsidna is actually below. She's being under the wagon.
Hold on.
Look, there's only so much cargo space. This is for characters only.
I can put myself on top of the wagon.
Same.
Yeah, it was Forsidna.
Is it under all of you now?
No,
No.
What do you mean by that?
hold on. Let me see if I can.
Like
I don't know if you want me
we
to
can
stream it
all
to you.
put ourselves on there. Now try to put Forsidna on top of the wagon.
So on my screen, none of you are on top of it.
Odd.
Weird.
That's weird.
But when I
That's on my-
put you all on top, which I will do real quick, now you are all on top of it, and Forsidna's on top of it.
Nope.
Forsidna is buried into the dirt.
I do still see myself on top of it, but I have selected myself for right now.
Okay. Well, how about we surround the wagon, and the people that are in front, where the axle is, are the people that are in the seat. Anybody else is just in the back.
I'm more than happy with that.
And if you want to tell me that you are not in the wagon but walking alongside it, that's fine. Just let me know.
I would like to walk alongside it.
You're walking alongside it.
Yep.
Okay. So
Can I tell you that Sharut applied a salve to Tertia?
You don't need to.
You don't need to. Like,
Oh, I thought she was still
Everyone
hurt.
got healed in the
Sorry.
thing, remember?
yeah.
Sorry. Whoa. Okay. Okay.
You mentioned that they needed healing, and so they just used a wand of mass cure.
It's funny because I think Noah was talking about going and checking on
Yeah.
I was, but it was a happy misunderstanding that Sharut didn't have to do any work.
Okay. So Lumio, you're gonna be on the side. Sharut, are you on the side or inside?
Sharut would be outside scouting, I believe.
Okay.
So
Quintus, inside or out?
Oh, absolutely inside.
Okay, I'm gonna put you in the back so that you're in. Delian, inside or out?
Inside, up front with Dandrin.
Okay, you're up front with Dandarin, which will put I'll put Tertia. I'll put Forsidna on the side there with Lumio. Tertia, are you in or out?
Assuming there's enough room for me to like splay out and lay down, I'll be on.
Okay, yeah. There's enough room to actually like be, inside the wagon, and be comfortable inside the wagon. So
I'll be close to the entrance because she wants to feel the sunshine.
okay. I'm trying to make this work as far as where I can put all of you, and it's not really doing it. So, whatever. Danner, you're driving along. Road seems fine. Horses seem fine. There's more of them now because the wagon is bigger. But you're doing good. Sharut, you are scouting ahead. When you're scouting ahead, are you looking for clues? Are you looking for tracks? What are you doing?
Tracks and traps.
Okay. So, go ahead and give me a survival check and a perception check.
All right. Survival. And perception.
Danielle is currently playing a game of RimWorld, and she just sent me a message of one of my toddlers was just savaged by a guinea pig.
She needs to replace the parts with cybernetics.
Yeah, you have to
ASAP.
give that. You got to work on that toddler, man. You got to get them some subdermal armor. Yeah.
What's this game? RimWorld?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
god!
And of course, you got to give that toddler a submachine gun.
Well,
I need to play this.
I mean, if they
Fantastic
don't have a
phrase.
submachine gun, are they even part of the colony? So, Sharut, you are scouting ahead, and as far as tracks, it's a well-traveled road. You see a number of them. There's, horse tracks, boot tracks, wagon tracks going up and down the thing. You also see a number of, like, hoof or foot traffic of, like, herd animals. So probably somebody, like, leading some of their, like, livestock to town at one point or another. But you're not seeing anything that looks, like, really untoward of, dangerous or anything like that. And then trap-wise, you're not coming across anything like that either. Like I said, it's a pretty well-traveled road. And you're just kind of walking along, looking at stuff, seeing if there's tripwires, if somebody's dug a pitfall trap, anything like that. not seeing anything. So
Right. He'll motion the wagon forward.
yeah, and I'm assuming that you're doing this over the course of like hours. Like it's not you go 30 feet ahead and then the wagon catches up, and you go 30 feet ahead and the wagon catches up. You're probably ahead of the wagon for the majority of the time.
Yep.
Cool. So, as you guys are moving along, there does come a point, and I will just kind of move you down, where you all come around, and if I could get everybody to give me a perception check, the gnomes in the party get an additional +2 to this check.
Ooh.
Look at all them dices.
I think I might be War Crimes Wagon in this case.
I believe so, yes. You need to make sure that you're clicked on your character, not the wagon. Yeah.
Oh, it actually gave me his rolls too. I didn't know that.
Yes, because the wagon does not have any skills. So if you are clicked on the wagon and then you tell it to roll perception, you're rolling it with the wagon's bonus of no bonus.
Yes.
So what's Lumio's
And
bonus
it
to
should get a
perception?
penalty. It has no sensory organs whatsoever.
+1. I have a +1.
Never
so
mind. I could have just
13.
added 1 to the 12 that you rolled.
Yeah.
Well, now he's got a 14.
General, what should we do? About what? About the battlefield. Well, where's the battlefield? What general?
It's a known issue. We're working to patch it out.
We hope to have it done by Lumio 3.0. All right.
Wait, aren't you version 1.5? Yes.
Quintus and Dandarin. The two of you smell an incredible amount of sort of it's like that tangy scent of copper that you are able to very quickly identify as blood.
Oh dear.
There's trouble up ahead.
Really?
I can smell it.
Yes, there's a great deal of blood that's been spilled.
You guys can smell that? All I can smell is the trees and the fresh air and the not cold.
Well, count yourself lucky.
My favorite scent is the not cold.
Yeah, it's
There
my
is-
favorite scent right now.
There's a lot of that copper smell.
Oh, no.
Well, and Danner's just going to get his gear ready and just keep the wagon going.
Okay.
Here, I'll hold the reins while you get ready.
I mean,
Getting ready is he pulls out his weapons and shield.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, he's not holding them and driving?
Well, he just has them ready, so
Okay.
that they're just
next to him. Okay. Because it's like, he's fully armored. He's fully armed. He's driving the wagon. No, he's not.
His mouth.
It's in his mouth.
He's got the reins in his beard.
He's
See those two tassels along my beard with the blue things on them? That's what drives this
He's
wagon.
doing the Zorro thing from One Piece. He's holding the reins in his mouth. He's got his shield and his other shield and his hammer and his other hammer. There's a sword dangling from his ear.
I mean, that's very intimidating.
I think the shield needs to go in his mouth.
The triple Loxodon shield is my favorite build. The Loxodon has right hand tower shield, left hand tower shield, trunk tower shield.
What do you do for that man? You stab him in the ass. Clearly, you stab him in the ass.
You go behind him to stab him in the ass, but alas, he has a tower shield in his tail.
All right. As everybody continues on, after a while, like 2-3 minutes, the scent kind of goes away, and it doesn't really seem to stick around or linger or anything like that. And you guys can continue moving on down.
We have investigated that, I wonder.
You guys kept going.
We thought it was up ahead.
Nope.
The scout had reported nothing.
The scout did report nothing. The scout didn't scout well.
Scout did not scout very well.
Yeah, I was tired after being underground.
Yeah,
for
so like as
like
it starts to fade, Dandra is going to look back and be like, I feel that's important. Chirrut hasn't reported back, and that seemed pretty obvious to me. Chirrut's normally pretty on the ball about these things.
Yeah, and I mean,
He's going to look at the land.
Yeah, like you guys, like Chirrut is, I imagine, somewhere between like 30 to 60 feet ahead of the wagon. So he's not scouting that far ahead because he doesn't have the backup of like Cordit this time. He's scouting alone, from what it sounded like. So
Yeah, it
It's
sure
Andrew's
was.
gonna call up then. Sharut? Sharut?
Sharut, eventually you hear that the wagon is shouting for you.
He turns around and you see him like trap back.
Sharut, lad, did you notice anything strange just as we were passing through just now?
Sharut noticed nothing.
Ah, I see. Sharut, it smells like there was trouble nearby. Could you mind investigating? Might be people who need help.
No. Well, here, if he
If
can't smell it,
Sharut
and I can.
miss, if Sharut miss, may need help finding.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll see you guys later.
We'll be ready to. Andrew will slowly bring the wagon back. Burp, 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 burp. This just doesn't sit well with Andrew. Like, oh, that's weird. Normally we'd have gotten like, oh, it's okay, or it's old, or something, but
All right.
thing.
So you guys,
And I guess-
you kind of go back to where you smelled it.
Yep.
Does this
And-
not normally smell like blood?
Where it was strongest is kind of like back here, and once they sort of point it out, anybody, Delian, you can instantly smell it once it's pointed out to you. To the others, it might take a little bit, but yeah, like it just smells like it's not that scent of death that would indicate like rot. It's just the scent of a lot of like basically it just smells like a lot of metal in the air. It's
So it
like you
could be
walked
a
into a
fresh
room
kill.
and the whole room is just like paved in pennies.
Gross.
Hey, that's our currency, man.
How dare you, sir?
I pick up
they're-
more pennies in the garbage and in sewer drains than.
And they're a waste of money and time. Nope.
Correct. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay. So would I be able to tell which direction it would be coming from with this apparent special nose of mine?
Yeah, so like basically gnomes just have like a very keen sense of smell. So you can give me a survival check and you can give me a +2 to it. You don't quite have the scent quality like a dog. They just have an exceptional sense of smell for a person.
Oh, I understand. Okay. Huh. Well, I'm not entirely surprised.
I'm assuming Sharut can make the same survival check, but not with the +2.
Correct.
Ridiculous.
So yeah, the two of you can scent it going off this way.
Sharut points in the direction where the smell is to the wagon and starts. He kind of like does a little head jostle to Dillian, saying, "Hey, we got to go scout this way because that's where the smell's coming from."
Definitely gonna try to stealth it out.
Yeah,
Okay.
concur.
So go ahead and give me stealth checks,
Cool beans.
and please read it out to me what you got because I'm looking something up.
I got a 30.
I got a 32.
All right. The two of you are able to sneak over this way, and once you get to about here,
Okay,
you
so
get a good 60, 70 feet off the road. It just looks like you have just walked into the non-building version of an abattoir. There are multiple recent kills here.
gross.
It looks like it was, and you can kind of see it like basically as you start getting closer, you can see faint wagon tracks. Like the wagon wasn't quite heavy enough to really like leave them, and then they get to here, and it looks like somebody was trying to set up camp, and the pair of ponies they had and them just been ripped apart. You see two bodies of humans, one of a young Korovar, and one of a pretty old-looking Warforged. Like, it looks just like more rust than steel, really. Yeah, it is just torn apart. Like, it looks like somebody didn't just kill these people, but killed them and then just like played in it.
Okay. So either this is a really sick individual or groups of individuals,
or a monster.
Heal check to find out whether it was done heal check?
Yeah, you can give me a heal check. Either of you can also give me a survival check if you would like.
Sure. They're dead.
Man, these guys are dead. So you are not able to identify anything at all about this. For Sharut, what did you get?
28.
For Sharut, what a 28.
On heal.
So you don't know exactly what happened here, but it looks like these things were these bodies were torn apart with claws. The claws of which are, you would judge at like 3 to 4 inches long, and with teeth that are, the canines at least, quite a bit longer. It is just a something just tore these things apart, teeth and claw style, rending them utterly.
I mean, those are some big claws, dude.
Yeah.
Sharut is going to speak in Goblin to Dillian.
Based off a cursory glance, something large and savage tore these apart. Doesn't look like it was done for fun. Definitely part of a hunt. But very large claws and very large teeth.
I'm sorry, all I'm hearing is, no, I'm just kidding. I heard you. Yeah. Yeah, this does not seem great. Oh, let me try this in Goblin.
Yeah, this does not seem very good. This seems like this is gonna be a bad time.
Did I do it alright?
Would rather Sharut talk common?
No,
No, this is fine. It's good to use these skills, otherwise you lose them, you know?
The goblin accent just wrecks the throat of any non-native speaker, apparently.
The moment you try and speak Goblin, it's "How you doing, smooth skin?"
Let me tell you, I've got a hell of a discount on chems right now if you're interested. Hey, Mike Wazowski, it's been a long time. Always watching you, Wazowski. Always watching. Fucking smooth skin.
So anyway, about the encounter.
Fucking smooth skin. Okay.
fuck.
Sharut's gonna move back over to Dillian and say,
We'll go inform others. Suggest you keep an eye out.
in Goblin.
Okay.
And he's going to stealthily move back to the wagon.
Oh, you're leaving. All right, I'll be here.
Okay, and so you guys all head back to the wagon? Or do you both head back, or are you leaving Dillian?
I was gonna leave Dillian to just keep an eye out.
Okay, you're gonna leave Dillian to keep an eye out. Dillian, can you give me a perception check as Shrew starts like sort of walking back?
Yeah, sure. This is where I go.
You see, you're not really able to make it out in the grass here because there's a lot of like underbrush. The underbrush is all splattered, like all the green is splattered red, but there's a lot of like underbrush over here.
Yeah.
But as you're just kind of like walking around and like looking around for, anything else, you sort of move this way and you look at this rock and you see a pair of paw prints, and you would estimate the paw print, which is just this red stain on this rock, to be about the width of your torso.
And at that point, Dillian stealthily runs away.
Okay. Is he stealthily or is he running?
He's stealthily running as in he hook shots as fast away as he can.
Okay, so hold on 1 second. Sharut, you get back to the wagon, and what did you want to say?
Nicely seen. Up ahead. Much death. Large creature.
Okay,
Suggest.
at that point, Delian just appears next to you.
Find something.
Yeah, I found something, alright. I found that this creature that killed all these things, the paws were about as big as me. Most of me, anyway.
Sure, speaking common right now.
In Goblin, Quintus is in the back. He's like, I don't understand why you're graveling like that. It doesn't seem necessary.
I haven't used Goblin in a bit. I haven't really talked Goblin in a while, so it's kind of getting used to it again.
In Goblin also, Lumio says, well, we should practice this on the road to help you get back into it.
Boy, I didn't know all of you spoke Goblin. This is very interesting.
Dandrin will look over and start in Goblin. Oh, hey. If it wasn't for the fact that Dwarven is so close to it and
Fuck, why are we all speaking in common if everybody can speak Goblin?
Is the troll back? Is that what's happening here? You guys are all just gonna have this conversation without me around, huh?
No, trust me. I mean, like...
That sounds like weird graveling.
No, for real. Like, apparently everybody but you can, and maybe for Sidna Goblin.
I speak Goblin adequately enough.
All right, for Sidna.
We must learn it at a young age because many of our mercenaries used to be Goblin, and sometimes we still deal with them. But
so for Sidna, I guess we're all goblins minus you.
I don't speak Goblin while doing a very offensive Goblin accent. I would never do that. It would be insulting to any Goblin allies that I might have. Though, if you
are you saying that I'm just out of practice.
I would never suggest that you would be purposefully offensive, Dillian. I do not believe you have that in you.
I mean, I feel like I just got wet from the amount of sarcasm you just oozed out.
Well, maybe you should towel off and get back in the wagon. It sounds dangerous here.
You know what? You might be right, but I'm not going to, just out of spite.
Fair enough. Would you like
how much of a danger does it appear that this creature might be following us?
If it's like paws about the size of my torso, then I would say substantial, unless if not malformed.
Sharut speaks in common.
Based off campsite, think may attack. If we try to set up camp, may be best to hunt, but leave up to party.
And then he switches over to Goblin.
By the way, your pronunciations are all terrible. We definitely should practice.
My pronunciation is adequate enough for giving orders, and that is all I need it for.
I don't know the language. I will not be practicing.
I simply haven't had a chance to speak to one of your people in such a long time. It's a rather new experience, but it was important enough at the time to learn the language so that we could establish discourse and discuss civilization.
If you would prefer, Sharut, I would be happy to practice my accent with you on the road.
Darlal taught me.
I like the concept that like Lumio is the only one who has no accent, but his accent is the exact same in every language.
It's just no matter what.
Or Sidna, I would be happy to practice with you on the road.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
You know, it's not nice to talk Goblin around people who don't speak Goblin.
Or to talk Goblin around people who only speak Goblin badly.
I mean, it's just the accent that's bad, not the pronunciation.
No, it is definitely the pronunciation.
Okay, then maybe I do need more practice.
What are you doing, smooth skin?
Bring me the halfling. Hey, smooth skin, you wanna bring me?
You must be the smooth skin we refer to as Lord Vader.
Do you want to buy some
mutants? Aren't too bad. You are kind of alone anyway.
Do you want to buy some death sticks?
You guys are all nonsense. Okay,
Body
so
smooth skin.
Jumping back. What are you doing there, Delian? Because apparently you're the only one that's seen anything.
I told them. They're just making fun of the goblin accent.
Charut, Delian, did you see, besides the bodies, did they have anything with them? Did they come in a cart, a wagon?
Yeah, they came in a... they came in a wagon. The horses also torn apart.
Oh, did they have anything identifying them in the wagon? Papers,
I
documents?
did not look. Sharut went, wait here. I saw a paw print and I went, mm-mm.
All right.
It would be lovely if a big, strong dwarf who seems almost invulnerable would help rescue me.
For said no, you should.
No.
All right, I'll go with you this time, but fair warning, I am not quiet and sneaky.
No, but that's okay. You're loud, therefore they'll attack you, hopefully.
Probably.
Or get scared by the loud noise.
Yeah. Win-win.
Sharut will say back to the wagon as they're heading towards the scene.
I will
on
also
guard.
follow them
Still nearby.
at a distance.
Okay. Well, for Sidna, we'll stick with you for right now. I'll move the wagon so that Quintus and Tertia can actually cook their character. Yeah, I'll put some tokens down just so you can see where the bodies are, pretty much.
Oh god, it's all two-talk.
It's all two talk. Every single one of them.
You know what I have been saying all day, because the name just cracks me up? Zmichi.
Smitchy.
Zmichi. It's just a funny name. I love it.
His name is Two Talk.
So yeah.
Two talk.
As you guys start getting closer, there's basically there's a little hill right here, really small, but it's just enough to hide this out of sight. And at some point, you can kind of see the little wagon tracks, and then you come as you're sort of cresting the hill, you can look over, and it looks like a slaughterhouse. It is not pretty in the least.
Do you see the wagon anywhere?
The wagon's there. It just looks like the wagon has also taken some damage. Whatever attacked them clawed parts of the wagon apart. So you see that it's missing boards in the side. There's claws raking down it. Yeah.
Dan will see if he can find any identifying papers on these guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
Can you
Clarify, I'm not taking their valuables. I'm checking for identification.
Okay. Can you give me a perception check?
That was a pretty good one, man.
Yeah, you are able to find a couple sets of identification papers on the humans. You looking around, you can't find much on the orc or the Korvark, because it's just very likely the parts of them that might have been holding the papers aren't there anymore. The humans just got lucky with the placement for the most part. Yeah, they are both apparently Brayland natives, and they are both married. Their names are it is Norn and Atani. And their last names are Top. So, yeah, and that's what you're able to find as far as the kind of identifying papers. At this point, can you give me a perception check? And I would ask that Dandarin, Delian, Sharut, you guys all give one. But Tertia and Lumio and Quintus, all of you give one as well.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh, that was a solid roll.
Not great.
Put him over there, ruffling around with things.
We found Zmichi.
Man,
He was here the whole time.
he
Best friend Sneechy.
here's the thing about Smeech. Good old Smeech. He was here the whole time.
Can always count on Sneechy.
Coward. So, I've got targets that I have to pick from, and
Fuck. Come on,
Sharut,
man.
you're 1. Dandarin, you're 3. But good old Delian is 2.
Fucking knew it.
Oh. It's like he's learned nothing from the past 3 months.
Bro, I've been trying, my man. It just keeps dragging me back in.
You're just cat toy size. That's all. That's all.
Yeah. I thought the goblin would too. Maybe they didn't like my goblinoid.
I have the same choice from the other group. Quintus, you're 1. Tercia 2. Lumio 3. But there's the added for Sidna of 4. Oh, we got Quintus. All right. Well,
they hate gnomes.
Gnomes.
Whatever
Gnomes just taste best.
here's the
Apparently.
thing about gnomes. Everybody hates gnomes. Okay, this isn't just them. This is everybody.
I think gnomes like gnomes.
They're well fed.
No,
They're well fed, so they have better meat, right? Right.
So this runs out of the woods at you. Oh, hold on.
Oh no.
Hold on.
What is that?
Not Wolf Moon.
Wait. Oh,
Wolf
no,
Moon
that-
T-shirt. Oh no.
Hold on.
no.
That
You get a
that was the
horrifying
wrong
image.
token.
yeah, I changed the token and then it decided no, that will not stand.
Here's the thing. I see a picture of the creature in the corner and its name on the token. There it is.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's much worse.
I don't like this.
Dude, you and me both.
That is an incredibly funny face on it, though.
I fucking love that face, and it's so good. So everybody is added to combat, and then all of you can roll your initiative.
He looks like a dude that would pull the Fonz. Hey,
Hey,
There we go.
hey, I'm gonna bite your face off. Hey.
all right.
Hell yeah, Quintus.
Yeah.
So, it runs for you, Dillian, and it leaps, and it's just a mass of. So basically, what this is a tiger that's about the size of a horse, with white fur that has black stripes on it, but the jaw just looks oversized. The claws are too big, and it runs at you, leaps, and just comes down because you, above all, look delicious.
I don't know why.
That is claw numero uno.
I know why. You've finally been defrosted.
Numero dosi.
These things have pounce. Oh no.
And then bite numero uno.
Fucking, they all hit, dude.
And 1 second, please.
Hopefully they don't have rend.
Noah, come back to Act 1. Act 2 is for later.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you about tigers and having 5 attacks on the charge.
Well, I'm
And 5
excited.
attacks on the charge.
I'm excited to introduce my new character next week.
Dude, same. This is gonna be very exciting.
Oh, just thrilling.
I wonder if our characters will know each other.
We should make them brothers. That's worked out well in the past.
That worked.
I'm sorry for everything. So, I don't know why I rolled those as Lumio instead of the tiger, but it's really funny to think that Lumio goes, Delian! And then just claws the shit out of you.
Et tu, Lumio?
It too.
Lumia just pounces on you. I beg your pardon.
Oh, and then he fails. He critically fails the grapple.
Thank
Hey, there's
everything
no,
above for that.
There's no rake coming your way. So, but there is some damage.
An absolute buttload.
Let's see
of
what that
damage,
damage
I hope.
is. It's going to be that much and then that much.
Oh,
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no.
That's some good damage.
And then it's
Cool.
I would like to top that one off with a little nibble of that much.
All right, I'm unconscious.
Okay.
Was it the nibble?
Was it
It
the
was
nibble?
definitely the nibble. It was more than a nibble.
For Quintus.
As I'm
I'd like
falling
to know-
unconscious,
Quintus never left. Oh fuck! Quintus never left the wagon.
Oh, did you not leave the wagon?
No.
Oh, well then I would have rolled a D3 instead. Hold on.
Oh, thank God. No.
I should have never left
So
the
you're
wagon.
in the wagon. It's going for
Yeah.
Lumio. Lumio, an 11 doesn't hit you, but a 26 does. A 23 also does. It was not able to do a rake, though, I believe.
You gotta say it with both claws to do it.
Yeah, I gotta check. Pounce and the rake. Yeah, it has to hit with both claws.
Shit.
Yeah. All right. So, Lumio, you will take...
Oh. Oh.
Oh no.
You take that much.
Right. How much?
You take 16 and 9. So, 25 total.
I have one question.
Yes.
The non-lethal cold damage go away since we've been above ground for about
Yes.
however
Yes,
many
the
hours?
non-lethal
Okay.
cold damage has gone away.
All right, then I am still up.
Okay. So now we'll start combat. Quintus, it's your turn. You just saw a black and white blur leap out of nothing. Like it's just the grass on the side of the road and just slam into Lumio.
Okay.
And you just hear that, like, of a tiger.
We haven't known each other that long.
I am not his friend.
So there's a calculation that goes through Quintus's mind, real quickly, and that is, can I escape on foot while they tear the rest of these things apart, like the rest of these people apart? And the answer to that is no. So because he doesn't like it, he's going to turn and fight.
Okay. So what would
Quintus
you like to do?
is being in the wagon. Does Quintus believe that he will provoke an attack of opportunity if he moves?
You mean
to the far side
if you
wagon.
climbed out of the wagon?
No, if he moves to the far side of the wagon to get an angle.
No. And they can't give you an attack of opportunity from inside the wagon. You have too much cover.
Okay. So he moves to the far side of the wagon, and he uses
I
Shadow
touched
Mark.
wine. Oh, okay.
He uses Shadow Mark.
Okay. And what does that do?
Shadow Mark is a ranged touch attack that does a fair amount of damage. Does an okay amount of damage. And if successful, they take the damage and also take a penalty to will saves against things that I do for a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and make a ranged touch attack here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do it using my light crossbow because it's already set up to take my dex. So
Sure. And just that's not the damage, and then you'll roll the damage separately.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, 6 damage. Exciting.
Okay.
So if that hits, 6 damage and a -1 to will saves when I do things.
It hits.
Perfect.
And next will be...
Is Sharut. He's going to spend a hero point.
All right, Sharut spends a hero point. Sharut, it's your turn. Hold on. I'm going to adjust your initiatives. You are now in 22, Sharut. What would you like to do?
Well, first, we're going to get away.
Oh, a little 5-foot step there. Never hurt anybody.
And then, do I know if I'm provoking?
It's long, not tall, so you're not provoking.
Okay. Sharut will then move.
So
I
you can't
guess.
5-foot step and move.
Oh, okay. So can I just... Okay. I'll just use a move action then. So 5,
So if you're
5.
if you're going to move more than 5 foot, that does provoke. So you need to give me an acrobatics check. The 5-foot step doesn't provoke, but if you're taking the 5-foot step, that's the movement that you get that round.
Okay.
Root, we need you to blind it.
I don't know if I can do that, but I'll try. 5-foot step. Move, action. Make a poison. I really need to heal Delian. Yeah, move, action, make a poison, and then Q.
Okay. Please pew the kitty.
And it should be charging, so it should be lower. Let's see. Attack roll bonus is a -2. Yeah. Attack roll. It's attack roll dice that should be the -2.
No, it gets a penalty to its armor class. So you
No,
just
no,
attack.
for me shooting twice.
Oh yes, you get a -2 if you take both shots.
Okay. So there's the first shot.
Yeah, like I thought you already had this set up.
No, I have to do parts of it manually.
Oh.
So first shot misses.
Is that a critical miss?
That is a critical miss.
Would you like to roll to confirm that critical miss there, Fun?
If you ask so kindly, I will.
Did the enemy have to roll to confirm its critical miss?
It didn't critically miss. It missed on the grapple check.
Really? Wait a minute. Hang on. Okay, I see what's going on. No.
Oh, yeah, it didn't actually roll the dice.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
actually
you're
roll-
rolling dice. You're just rolling a 6, which is good. Like that's clever, but you want to do that with a higher number. A 6 isn't going to hit.
I think what happened was I'm supposed to put it here instead. It's not the dice.
It did roll that.
It's the attack roll bonus is what it's supposed to be. There we go. That's what it's supposed to be. So first shot missed.
Okay, it misses, but it's not a critical miss because the die
Yeah.
is there. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, that's
Second
my
shot?
fault. Second shot. The 14 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay. Yeah, that's sure its turn.
Okay. After that is, hold on. There we go. Now it's highlighting the tiger. After that is the tiger. It's going to bite at Lumio.
It doesn't need to.
I do hate to bring this up, but you brought up the critical failures. It rolled 2 1s. The first tiger, this one over here, failed to grapple Delian. This one very much did roll a critical failure on its first attack against Lumio.
Hold on.
Go to the rolls.
The critical failure on the grapple check, like it's a combat maneuver. It doesn't count for the fall.
No. So I know, but
but
I'm
for
just pointing out
the-
that you did roll 2 1s.
I did roll. Hold on. I will make a roll to confirm the fumble against Lumio. Would a 19 hit you, Lumio?
Yes.
Okay, so it doesn't confirm the fumble. It just missed that first time. Does a 14 hit you with the claw?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Does an 11 hit you?
No.
Okay. Oh shit, that's another 1.
Yeah.
Oh! And then a 20 on his fumble confirmation. So
What
he
the hell is
misses
happening
you,
here?
but he misses you by a hair. And then the bite is a 18. Does an 18 hit you?
Yes.
All right. So he deals 11 plus 8 is going to be 19 damage.
Okay. Now, how does death work?
So, if you go to negative your con, you die.
Because okay, I have 12 con.
Okay.
The 11 doesn't get me there because I had 1 hit point, but it puts me at -10.
Okay.
Your second hit does do that, though.
Okay. So, what you can do is spend hero points.
Yeah, I'll do that.
To say, I didn't take one of those hits.
In this case, I'll take the second hit because it only puts me at -7.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So you dodge out of the way of the first hit. The second hit still connects. You go down, but when you go down, you become absolutely inert. Because Warforged, they don't necessarily die. They just kind of like turn off.
Yeah.
And
Try to turn it over a couple of times.
so you don't need to see if you're bleeding to death. You're just at the moment off, like you are inert. So Delian You do need to roll to see if you're bleeding to death.
I do.
Can you give me a con roll? You take an additional point of damage.
All right.
And that's your turn.
Yep.
So, the tiger is going to gnaw on you.
All right.
I would like to go right just now.
Okay, Dandarin would like to go right just now. So I will update the combatant. He is going to go in 14. Dandarin, it's your turn. Hold on, I will go back, and then I'll go to you. It's your turn.
To touch my friend, you son of a bitch. And watch me whiff.
That's a cat.
With me watch. So he still has his AC penalty from charging, so that hits, actually.
Oh boy. Just takes 7 damage.
Sure, you were 1 off.
I'm realizing that now.
Okay, yeah, you do a solid hit with a big stick to its face, and it makes this and doesn't like it. And so this changes things. You made a solid hit. I need to roll a thing.
It enters rage.
Now it and now the
Where's the
animal
sticks?
and now the animal will rage. Yep. The animal will go. It will withdraw. Hold on. That wasn't correct. Let me see.
Then it comes back. Fuck.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It leaves, and then it returns. And then it leaves.
That will be it. On Forsidna's turn, she will move forward, and she will cut at the beast. And will miss. Tertia, it's your turn.
Well, in that case, I'd like to go here and roll an acrobatics check. Just like stairs.
That'll make it. If
Okay.
tigers are like anything, they are like stairs.
That's true.
Closely related to stairs, so I've heard.
Yeah.
Very much
No,
so.
I'm
Yeah,
fairly
Flanking,
certain,
I can use Fatal Thrust.
I'm fairly certain I've read that in a few books.
Yeah.
That
The
makes
steps,
sense.
the steps are actually they've turned into stripes, both phonetically similar and also just related.
David
to-
Attenborough told you
So is
that.
that,
Yeah,
is that
he did.
10 damage there, Mike?
It sure is.
Okay. That. Oh.
If that hits, I need to make a trip attack.
Oh. Okay. That does hit. Go ahead and that will trip.
Great.
Actually, hold on. Let me check just to make sure on this. Sorry, that will not hit. I forgot the multi lig thing bonus.
Quadrupeds get a bonus against
Yeah,
tripping.
so that won't hit. You hit. You did damage. You didn't trip it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Hang on. Just want to make sure I have everything right here. That's the wrong weapon. We're on this one. And just want to make sure my quick change is if I do damage.
I thought it was if you successfully do a combat maneuver.
Yep, it is combat maneuver, crit, or defeat a foe with 0 or fewer hit points.
Nope.
All right.
All right. So Quintus, it's your turn.
Okay, Quintus, having gathered his wits in the last 6 seconds, opens himself up to the spirits, learns the talent Hostile Glamors, and uses that on the tiger to blind it. Please give me a will save at a -1.
Yes. I will do this thing. Does an 18 make it?
Is that including the -1?
Yeah.
Shit. Yes, it does.
They go +3.
Fuck.
Okay. And
Yep, that's fair.
anything else? Okay. Sharut, it's your turn. You can still sort of barely see it up on this hill. You can just sort of see it. It blends into the grass really well.
Sharut is going to move here. He's going to, let me check my sheet here. He's going to apply a salve to Billion, and he's going to say to, oh, nice. Okay. He's going to say to Dandarin,
Preparing for another charge. Brace in front of wounded.
and Billion, you heal 14 points of damage.
Wow.
That's
nice.
And yeah, that's his turn.
Okay. this one. Okay. It is going to move to there and then move to there. It starts to slink off back into the grass. And sort of moves over there and then gives this big sort of like growl, this big roar. That standard sort of like tigery roar noise that really belongs to a lion, but they attribute it to every great cat. And after that, Delian, you're up now.
Yeah. The first thing he says immediately after opening his eyes is, "Life sucks."
Herbert answers in Goblin. I know.
Get back to the wagon, Delian.
Okay, smooth skin.
Dandrin, the roughest skinned motherfucker, just looks at him.
Dandrin sharpens his axes on his face.
Yeah. And
Honestly, on his
Delian
beard.
being quite smooth himself. So Delian is going to, because he can only move 20. This.
I mean, you can only move 20, but you have a hook shot.
That's true. I'm gonna be like, yeah, peace out.
And just
I'm
appear
gonna
next to
hook shot away.
Quintus. So yeah.
Do I have line at the wagon here? Line of sight?
Yes, because Lumio is on the ground right now.
Then I'm going to try to hook shot as close, if not to, the wagon.
Okay. Give me a ranged attack roll.
Okay.
Like you can just use your short bow. I think you have that.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Like it's easy to hit a thing as big as a wagon. Like
Cool.
even an 8 does it. I was basically seeing if you rolled a 1 and latched onto the tree over here or something.
Dude, you know how shitty that would be?
It would be shitty, but I mean, Delian's luck, that would work. So yes, you manage to latch on to one of the back support posts, and then just as you get there, you kind of swing around, and you're just like hanging onto the back, and you could be like right there.
Yeah, sounds great.
Cool. Dandrin, it's your turn.
I'm going to interpose myself between Shrewd and the Beastie,
Okay,
and it's for the charge.
sounds good. So you're switching over to your other weapon?
So because I have the weapon rack backpack, and I don't have to pick it up off the ground now. I can just put my stuff on, pull off, because I don't have to do the stupid pick it up off the ground crap.
Yeah. So here's like, you switch weapons a lot, and your class isn't made for it. So like, you actually have to like think of the actions here. You had a hammer and an axe, or a hammer and a shield, right? Are you dropping it? Are you sheathing it? What are you doing? Like,
Hold on.
do you sheathe the hammer and draw the bardish?
Yes, and then I just don't get my bonus to. I don't get my tower shield bonus.
Okay.
Because I don't have the appropriate talents for that yet.
Okay.
But I don't take the penalty on attacks.
Sounds good.
You have those talents.
You brace for a charge. Tiger moves and disappears.
You piece of shit. It's a brilliant strategy, but
For Sidna, will pick up Lumio and move him into the wagon. Like, she gets to there and she goes, Delian, please move aside. And, like, just sort of throws him in, more or less. And then walks back, or starts to walk back to get his spear that he dropped. And then, Tercia, what would you like to do?
I will use my. I do have quick draw regarding my customized weapons,
Yes.
so I will move there, draw my chakram, and I will deadly shot it.
Sounds good.
God damn it!
Oof.
Can you roll to confirm, please?
Would you like to re-roll that? You know what? I would.
Are you going to re-roll it, or are you going to roll to confirm?
I will re-roll it.
Okay, re-roll it.
There we
That's
go.
better.
Oh, that's much better.
All right, so that will hit it. It does 11 damage,
Sure does.
which ain't bad. And then your attack roll is the equivalent of the push.
I did not apply push shot.
Okay,
I only did deadly shot.
so you only did the deadly shot. Okay, so you hit it with a chakram. The chakram bounces off its own face and a tree and a rock and comes back to your hand. And so bottom of the round, we got 2 growling, roaring tigers. Can I get from, let's see, who's in the wagon and up? I got gnome number 1 and 2. I think I'm going to go with gnome number 1. Quintus, can you give me, please, 2?
Okay.
You what?
Can you give me 2 1d20 rolls? And those 1d20 rolls are going to be 1d20 plus 3. I need 2 of those, please. Ooh. Oh.
Nice.
So, yeah. The horses are not moving, which I didn't expect. Because like one of them tries and the other one is just standing there. Like the wagon does not budge.
One of them standing there and looks at the other one with like disdain.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what a Wagonto gets you for sure.
God damn it, Jim! What do you think you're doing? The wagon moves when the dwarf says it moves.
All right.
Call yourself
They
a
go to
wagon
move, and
horse.
the war wagon just reaches out and grabs them with the reins and goes, "No."
And is that a touch attack or a range attack?
That is a light crossbow. That is actually Quintus. Like seeing this thing kind of take off, he's just like, "All right," and he takes out his crossbow.
Okay. You will actually hit. Okay.
Can I make I don't like weird mouth tigers. As a player, I know what these are. Can Quintus make a knowledge nature roll?
No. Can you instead? Well, actually, hold on. I believe yes. Actually, it is a knowledge nature roll. My mistake. Can you give me a knowledge nature roll?
I'll give you 2.
That's enough. These are ghost tigers. Very specifically, these are mage-bred ghost tigers. Mage-bred ghost tigers are King Bornell's favorite hunting quarry. They were basically tailor-made for nobles to hunt in the Kingswood, and it's illegal for pretty much anybody else to kill them. And that has kind of made them aggressive and very expansionist. They just kind of go.
So, query.
Yeah.
Is it illegal to kill them in the Kingswood, or is it illegal to kill them?
So it is illegal to hunt.
Okay.
Specifically to poach in the Kingswood. It is also illegal to hunt or to poach a ghost tiger. They are considered to be killable only by royal invitation.
Fuck. Realizing that, Quintus is going to shout out, "We need to go! You can't kill them!"
Hell, I can't.
Like quarter talk.
Yeah, Kendrick. Hell, I can't.
No, he shouts out, "No, it's illegal!"
Chose murder.
You idiot! Get in the wagon!
All right. After that is going to be Sharut. It's your turn. Danarin's trying to body block for you from the one to the south. What would you like to do?
Damn it.
What does illegal mean? Now he would know.
There should be laws
He would
Goblin
know.
Country.
Is this a bush or a tree?
It's a tree.
Okay. Would hiding behind it prevent me from being charged?
Yes, like it would if you interposed yourself behind the trunk. Then yeah, like if you're going to count the center one as the trunk, and if you moved yourself there, yes.
Yeah, I will run there.
Okay, sounds good.
That will be my turn.
All right, and after you is going to be this guy, and what this guy is going to do is move way up here, and then he's going to just disappear. So I'm going to end the combat at this point. What would you guys like to do?
Get in the wagon.
Reload my crossbow, get to a central point in the wagon, so that I am neither seen nor likely to fall if they attack the horses.
Yeah, and can I get from Dandarin, who's outside the wagon, and from, well, I imagine Tertia would, sorry, not Tertia, Forsidna would get into. Forsidna would probably jump up front.
Dandarin's hopping onto the front seat.
Yeah. So you and Fursidna are on the front. Quintus, you're watching. Tertia, I imagine you're inside as well.
Yep.
Okay. Can those who have a view of the outside give me a perception check, please?
No.
I guess I
There's
technically
nothing to worry about now.
have a view of the back.
I can't see them, but that doesn't mean they're not here.
Wow. Quintus, you are definitely being followed. You're being sort of like, it's like the ambush predators are ambushing. They're just on the side of the roads. They're moving in the grass. You don't see them. There's never a point where you fully see a tiger. You just see sort of blurs in the woods, and some of them might be the tigers, and some of them might not be, but you see them.
Does anybody have eyes on them?
Following behind us.
We're not stopping. We're going to a town tonight.
Okay, so is that what you're doing? Is are you just going on the road straight through until you make it to a town?
Because they're basically one a day, right?
Yeah, but they're not all like evenly spaced 8 hours apart. You've got a while to go.
I'm assuming we gotta push.
Yeah, you have to push.
Yeah, I'm gonna push.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you?
So
During said push, Sharut is going to apply another salve to Dillian.
Okay.
So Dandrin unfortunately cannot repair Lumio at this time, but he's gonna see if Sharut can do anything. He's safe because he's a Warforged.
So
I have nothing.
there would be a point where you can kind of jump in the back and tinker with him and just leave the wagon to somebody.
Could my craft mechanical artifice maybe help?
Not really. Like, that would help if you needed to, like, stop the wagon suddenly or something like that. But he needs somebody who can actually, like, drive the wagon, who knows the correct time to crack the whip.
No, I meant to heal Lumio.
Oh, yeah, I would say that you could try your craft mechanical on him.
Okay. Once I get a little bit more healed, I'll probably turn to that.
He is a creature of artifice, so that makes sense. You're not quite as good as at it as Dandrin is as a blacksmith, but you are definitely good.
Dillian heal 14 points of damage.
Dude, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and then you can give me your crafts roll to try to bring Lumio back up as you guys continue on.
Fuck.
Okay. So Quintus.
Yes.
Quintus is going to, at the back of the wagon, if they seem like they're like kind of close and stalking off to his right, he's going to spend a shadow point. He's going to gain the Conjuration Sphere, which allows him to create a companion. It doesn't really matter what the companion is at this point, because it's a quadruped. It probably looks like a prey animal, and it dashes off to the other side.
Can I pause you there?
Yeah.
Your oath prevents you from creating, summoning, or dealing with magical companions.
You are absolutely correct. I cannot do that. Shit.
So you can do it, but it'll shatter your oath.
Hold on, but it counts as an illusion effect.
You're still making, like, if you're grabbing the Conjuration Sphere, you're still making a companion.
But it counts as the illusion sphere.
You'd have to grab the actual illusion sphere and do like mirror image or like
no. It's fine. Like it's cool. I'm arguing over a technicality. It's not.
Yeah,
necessary.
yeah, and I'm just gonna say no on the technicality. Like,
yeah, that's fine.
Like,
as someone who has been denied for technicalities many times.
Yeah. Then in that case, yeah, that's fair. In that case, rather than grabbing
my argument here being that you are getting a major bonus from that oath point. So no.
Yeah. Then rather than do that, Quintus will grab the Destruction Sphere and just for the next minute, every 6 seconds, throw a blast of blunt energy out the back, mostly towards the like trees and rocks to make the sound of impact.
Just trying to scare them off, generally.
Yeah, to confuse them, to make them like unsure as to whether or not they should attack.
Can you give me an intimidation check? But go ahead and add. I want to say add your intelligence instead of your charisma. Okay. You'll see them pull back a little bit. They won't be so Like you barely see them as it is, but it gets to the point where you don't really see them much. But you still occasionally do.
Okay.
When we're on a straight patch, Dandrin, like a pretty straight patch,
Yeah.
Dandrin will just be like, all you have to do is hold the reins and not panic, and hand it to Forsidon as he hops in the back. Start taking care of Lumio.
Yeah, and when you like hop in the back, she goes, I'm much better when I'm actually riding the horse. And
I understand.
you hand it to her, and she definitely holds the reins of the wagon like she has no idea what she's doing. Like, arms are very stiff. The reins are in her hand, but she doesn't know. So she just does what you said and holds the reins. And then you just get back there and make all the wounds go away.
I think that's going to be, let's see. Is that 21 or 22 points?
That would be 22.
It's 15. Okay, yeah.
It's
So,
you get 1 if you hit 15 plus 1 per point above 15.
Then yes, please heal 22 hit points, Lumio.
And
Sure. We'll make more salves as we ride.
and I need sure, but they're moving at a bit of speed. This isn't even just, we're going to trot along. This is like the horses are scared and they're sort of running and running and running. So if you would like to give me your alchemy checks at a -4, if you can still complete it without rolling at a -4, that's fine. But if not, give it to me at a -4. Eric, from you, I need an animal handling check, please.
Okay.
As you attempt to push the horses sort of past their limit. Okay, it works for a couple hours, and you're doing all right. Sharut, you're able to make yourselves just fine and get yourself ready to go. Lumio's back up. Quintus is still keeping watch. Tertia's keeping watch. Delian is probably complaining.
Does anyone know if they're afraid of fire?
And for Sidna will say, every animal is afraid of fire, but how do you set fire to the animal without setting fire to the whole forest?
Here's the rub.
Wait a minute. Grease is flammable, right?
Like the spell grease?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I don't think so.
In Pathfinder 1, because in 3.5 it is. Pathfinder 1 should be. They changed it in Pathfinder 2, I think.
Hold
Let's
on.
double check.
No, it is not flammable.
Unfortunate.
Yeah.
I-
That was a thing in like 2nd edition that people keep saying like carried over, but it didn't actually carry over. Like there's a different spell that was like flammable grease in Pathfinder in 3.5. So anyway,
buy me some grease.
Dandrid, as you continue on, and you know that you're starting to get a little bit closer to exile, and it is late. I imagine that you guys are not doing much more other than staying in the wagon.
Yeah.
People who have to pee probably just pee off the side of the wagon. So can I get from you another handle animal check, and can I get from everybody a fortitude save, please? DC for your handle animal check is going to be a 17. DC for the fortitude save is a 15.
I did not pass.
Oh.
I'd like to reroll that.
Sure. Yeah, that's probably yeah.
At worst, it can be the same. You can't do worse.
Lord.
Okay.
Hey, how about them apples?
That's much better. Okay, so everybody that got below the 15 on the fortitude save is fatigued. You are all fatigued by the fact that you are up late, basically as you are just going and going and going and going and going.
Right.
I've got one more stupid thing I can do.
The animals are also fatigued. However, Dandarin is able to keep pushing them. And since you are still occasionally hearing the roars, the animals sort of understand what's going on, and all the what is it right now? Is it ponies or horses or?
They're heavy horses.
The heavy horses will just kind of continue trudging along, and at around it's the early hours of the morning. This is nearer to sunrise than to sunset. You all finally make it into exile, and you have come this far. and you were hunted the whole time. And then
Stupid not being allowed to kill them.
we can't kill them. It's illegal.
It was illegal.
Here's the thing. Dandrin was 100% willing to kill them, but everybody seemed like they were going to just run, so it was like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I mean, Darcia wasn't. She wanted to kill it.
Actually, I'll just delete all of these folks, and then
That was me.
I will go back to the encounter one. 1 second. I'm grabbing you from the other map.
Oh, okay.
As they're going, Quintus explains Magebread Ghost Tigers and why this was a stupid idea, and Boronel is the worst of the possible nobility.
I have a question.
Oh, not even in self-defense can you kill them.
Not even there. No, not at all.
I understand that he's speaking in Goblin, by the way. I understand they're not supposed to be killed, but would anyone here have reported it if we did?
Not at all the point, though. It's one of those things that is potentially able to catch up to you. You don't just
Someone finds the corpses of Magebread tigers, they could have someone from an appropriate house figure out and track down who killed it.
It's not something that you want to play around with.
Specifically because it's coming from royalty. If it was just a general decree and it was, no, they're endangered or some such nonsense, sure, probably could get away with it. Royal decrees are something you don't fuck with.
The laws and rules you above-grounders have make no sense.
I mean, you don't have to follow them.
Yeah,
But you put this on the Murr holes. We do not follow these kind of stupid rules.
I would happily have broken that law.
And Frisina will say, same here.
Honestly, the same.
If I could have cut it down, I would have, but it was already in the process of running away.
It was probably coming back to try and catch us off guard again and pounce us.
Well, this is a city this city is fairly spread out. There, it might choose to begin hunting the people who live here rather than hunting us.
Quite possibly.
So, you guys all make it to exile. And once you're in exile, you only know of one inn in town, which is the High Hawk. That one right there. So, if you would like, you can basically go and try to grab some rooms there.
Yep, I'll try and grab rooms at the High Hawk.
Yep. And he will happily rent rooms to you at the low cost of... And he goes, well, I'm thinking, how about, let's go with 6.
Andrew does some quick math, just assuming he understands this. He hands the guy 45 gold. Says the extra 3 is for putting the wagon up properly.
Do what they can. We don't have a stable as such, but I can make sure that it's...
Last time we were here, we left it out front and now it's put on the same position.
And he goes, it's fair enough, we can do that. I don't guarantee that it... I don't know why he's French all of a sudden.
Because you went from sitting to this guy.
Yeah. And he goes, I won't guarantee that it won't be stolen from, but I'll put it out there. And
we'll have people guarding it. And he'll begrudgingly say, I will be first shift.
Yeah, and you guys get some sleep, but if you're choosing to head out early, you don't get much.
We will head out at a more leisurely pace, I believe, the next day.
Sure. All right. And I think that is going to be where we stop, as you all start making your way back to New Seer. So,
hey,
yay!
Also, gold came out of the party gold.
That's fine. So,
just letting the players know.
All right. So we will see everybody next week as we continue on back. I imagine that they will get back to next New Seer next week. The House Thrash thing, fun as it was, took a little bit longer than I thought it would, but I love to do a good stupid Cajun accent.
Oh, that was so good, though.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
It was fun.
Yeah. So thanks to everybody for watching, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.